of all major religions and one of the holiest sites in Islam.
Exactly. They just fired at the Holy Sepulchre, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and just by miracle, it wasn't destroyed, but they are going after civilians. And just a very simple fact, all the casualties all the Israeli casualties are civilians.
Yeah, and Israel's done an incredible job with its interceptions. I think that the number is anywhere from 85 to 95%, if more, of these missiles are being intercepted thanks to the Arrow 2, Arrow 3 missile defense system, which we actually saw on an airbase. I'm not going to say where for security reasons, but we saw this. It's incredible to see it at work. The challenge, though, with these cluster munitions is that, from my understanding, and maybe you can add to this, the warheads are loaded with these cluster bombs, and they detonate before being intercepted, and then they fan out, they spread out over several miles. I mean, kilometers, obviously, you guys use here, but that's why we see the damage in kind of a large swath of a region such as here, and then even damage at the central rail station.
John, you're absolutely right. They're trying to create as much as damage as possible. And they are aiming at civilians. But I'll tell you a secret. We're strong. We're determined. We're going to win this war. They are going after our civilians, but we will win this war. And we're determined that this war will be ended with a great triumph.
Well, and we're seeing that play out not only in Iran, but also the joint U.S.-Israeli cooperation and the air defense systems, the multi-layered system that Israel has, from Iron Dome, David Sling, Arrow 2, Arrow 3, soon Arrow 4, but also the U.S. Aegis and THAAD systems as well. And it's an incredible joint operation cooperation. Oren,
thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you so much, guys. Back to you.
Thanks so much, John Huddy. You know, the thing is, it's awesome to hear and see the resilience of the Israeli people during a time like this. And they remain optimistic, and they see victory on the horizon.
They do. And unfortunately, in that particular case, that couple, again, incredibly resilient, didn't make it in time. But this is what the Israelis have.
Experience evangelism like never before with the award-winning Way of the Master, Thursday and Friday on theDove TV. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is like the happening place.
Yeah, it is.
This is like Coolville, USA.
First thing in the morning, open your eyes, and you're in Coolville. Oh, I like that.
This is Coolville, USA.
Okay.
As we work our way towards the first day of spring, which is Friday, but you would think it was spring yesterday.
Oh, my goodness.
Wasn't it nice?
Oh, yeah.
I saw 79.
Yeah, well, guess what? It's going to even move up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but backing down over the weekend a little bit. Very nice out there. Good morning, Jerry's here. That's all that counts.
Yeah, thanks.
2 cups of coffee, he's ready to grow. 2 or 3?
3.
3.
Yeah. Hey, it's you got to be on the system.
Okay.
And that's my system.
All right. So I'm coffee shopping for the staff.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Long story about our coffee situation here, but hey, it's improving.
Okay. Well, you know what? We've never suffered around here in the coffee department.
No.
No.
It's just we've had adjustments.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not the coffee snob that you and Steve Johnson.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, come on.
Oh, yeah.
You got to admit it. You got the disease. You're hooked.
Yeah.
Problems.
Yeah.
I know, Doug, is there any cure for this? Anyway, so do you like the medium or the dark?
Dark. I like it all. But I'll grab the dark if I have a choice.
The dark.
Yeah.
Do you like the espresso touch to it?
Yes, I do.
Do you think anybody else around here does?
Why not?
See?
I mean, why wouldn't they? It's only good.
See?
Yeah, and it's like a little is good, a lot's better. And so that's with, strength, with color of the coffee, with the amount that we drink. There are a lot of things in that blank.
Hold on here. Keep talking.
So I just want to know, you said we're changing directions a little bit. What direction are we going in?
Well, you have struck 5 out of the 6.
No.
Addiction point.
Did Doug send you this?
And part of the addiction point is you've lost all senses.
Thanks, bro.
So there's 6.
I've lost.
And you got 5. And the last one could happen today. I don't know. No, listen, we have a new coffee maker over there.
Okay, yeah.
Brother Mike put that in for us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one over there.
Right. Oh,
Then we have one of those pod things.
yeah. Yes.
So you have that as
like
an
a
alternate.
Keurig thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the other little place in the back in the corner, Mike fixed that one, so that one's working now.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. And
Thank you,
so,
Mike.
We ran out of the good bean coffee from Jacksonville.
And that is good coffee.
Yeah, that's very good coffee.
Yeah.
And so I was at the Big C, and I thought, well, I can't go to work tomorrow and not have something in the pot because you guys would be really cranky. Around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And what did
Besides,
you
the production, which is already low, would go lower.
Hey guys, don't take it personally.
Okay. So this whole thing was going downhill pretty fast.
Okay.
So I'm standing there at the Big C looking at a variety of things.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see what you guys think.
Okay.
But guess what?
What?
You're not throwing that bag out. You're going through the whole thing.
The whole
whether
thing.
Whether
okay.
you like it or
well,
not.
you know what? We have that policy at home too. You know, we
Okay.
don't waste things, especially coffee.
Yeah.
And that's the trouble. You going into the Big C or any place else, there are a lot of varieties, a lot of choices.
Mm-hmm.
How do you narrow it down? And you know.
Well, yeah, I guess you know, trial and error. But
Right. We try to, move, from one type to another, just to keep our palates fresh and, and try to avoid being accused of being a snob.
Okay, so where was coffee before we had all these kiosks?
Coffee was in a percolator being made by our parents.
Now it's like one of the biggest industries in the world.
Absolutely. Right. Can
You go past Dutch Bros down here? 6 cars in line. You go by a human being down
Right.
here, 9 cars in line.
You know, I have often mentioned, and I think of this quite a bit too, is that how would I explain things like the internet, computers, our phones and stuff to my grandparents? Because they didn't see any of this stuff. And I know they'd be shocked at what's gone on digitally, social media, the whole thing. They'd be even more shocked at the coffee situation. They grew up drinking coffee and percolators, grinding it up sometimes by hand.
Okay.
I mean, the whole thing.
But I've been on this quest
What?
to have just coffee
Okay.
without anything in it.
How's it going?
It's tough. Doug, I don't know if there's...
What seems to be the problem?
I don't know.
Come on, confide in me.
Let me
hear. You want the sugar?
Yeah.
You know?
So I like the creamers and stuff, but it's not doing me any good.
Well, I've heard you mention that you use coffee as a carrier.
It was.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be a good boy and back off.
Okay.
But there's an advertisement on TV that's kind of got my attention.
What?
And I don't know if I want to. I like to try one before I buy one.
What?
The Nespresso?
Nespresso.
Yeah.
Nespresso is really good stuff. Now it's spendier than other coffee. Making your own Nespresso is going to cost you about $1 to $1.20 a cup, and but it's good. It makes its own crema. It's really fresh tasting. It is excellent.
Well, I had one cup.
Oh,
given
it's
to me,
good.
And I go, whoa.
It's good.
That could help me to continue to transition. And coffee.
You heard it here.
Various transitioning.
Hey, we are the Coffee Transition Central.
Then we have this huge espresso machine back in the corner that hasn't been hooked up.
You know what?
Since
Since we remodeled, yes.
So we got to get that thing going.
Yeah.
Anyway, so much for all that nonsense. Good morning. What else is going on? What do you got?
Coffee. I want coffee now. All right. We have National Supreme Sacrifice Day. And, when we think of this, we think of men and women in uniform who have laid down their lives protecting our country and our communities. But we also honor those who have stepped forward during times of crisis to rescue a stranger or a neighbor, and they gave their ultimate sacrifice on that day. So our hats off to those heroes. Also, National SBDC Day, National Small Business Development Centers Day, recognizing the thousands of SBDCs across the country.
#1 employers in America.
There you go. And how is the state of entrepreneurship, of small business going?
Hard.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Hard. Don't get me going.
And it's never easy. I mean, it is never easy.
No,
but it seems to be tougher these days. Also, Oh, here you go. National Biodiesel Day. We celebrate National Biodiesel Day on the birthday of Rudolf Diesel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he invented the diesel engine. He unveiled it at the World's Fair in 1900, and it was originally designed to run on peanut oil.
I was going to say better known as French fry oil.
Exactly. I'm still running biodiesel.
Yeah.
He was a big believer in the role that plant oils could make in fueling America. I
Wow.
think we should look at that even a little bit more, especially with the strait being closed.
Oil is plant oil.
Oil is plant oil. Well, some of it, but some of it is like dinosaur oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Dead
Also, fossil fuel. National Awkward Moments Day. Something we would like to avoid. I don't know if you've ever had an awkward moment that anybody has helped you get out of. Sometimes people recognize the fact that we're in an awkward moment and they lend a hand. That's what spouses are for sometimes. Yeah. Oh, Pam has done great things in this department for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, have you done one for her?
Whenever I can. She has fewer awkward moments than me.
Okay, that was a good answer.
Oh, thank you very much. It's also thank you. I hope you heard that, Pam. It's also National Lacy Oatmeal Cookie Day. Now, some people refer to this as National Oatmeal Cookie Day, but it's not. The difference between the two, look at how thin that is the Lacy oatmeal cookies are wafer thin, and they typically accompany a scoop of ice cream or sherbet.
Oh, and they're crunchy.
Yeah, how about that?
All right.
So enjoy your Lacy oatmeal cookie, but here's what we're really digging in on today. It's National Sloppy Joe Day. Oh, yeah. The exact origin of the Sloppy Joe is debated. One story traces, we're watching this one. This is a special one just for the guys. It's called Manwich.
Manwich?
Manwich, yeah, it's Sloppy Joe for guys. You get it in a can and then you dump the sauce on it, and you can make Sloppy Joes just like that.
Manwich. Huh?
Yeah, Manwich, yeah. Now, Sloppy Joes are a nostalgic comfort food commonly found in school cafeterias, family meals, and picnics. They appeared in movies like Billy Madison, It's a Wonderful Life, and Citizen Kane, cementing their place in American pop culture. In 1969, Hunt's introduced the Manwich, a canned version that made preparation easier and more convenient, and especially for a lot of us guys, that's the way we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But however you do it, enjoy. It is National Sloppy Joe Day.
All right.
Oh, man.
All right, good stuff. Well,
All right.
I want to come back to awkward moment.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one right here.
Okay.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a much quieter pattern in place for Wednesday across northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain with mostly cloudy skies and highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a slight chance of rain this morning in Salem and some patchy fog around Corvallis, then partly sunny with highs near 67, in Albany near 68, and low 70s in Eugene. Sunny and warmer in central Oregon. Prineville tops out in the upper 70s under sunny skies. Sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 70s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 80. Along the coast, sunny to mostly sunny skies for Coos Bay, Brookings, and Crescent City with highs in the mid to upper 60s. A slight chance of morning rain around Port Orford, then mostly sunny with a high near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny and warm for the Rogue Valley with highs in the upper 70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Over in Klamath Falls, sunny with a high in the mid-70s and low in the upper 30s. Into Northern California, sunny and warm in Wairika with a daytime high near 80. Further south, sunshine and much warmer conditions with highs in the low 90s in Redding, Chico, and Sacramento. Across the Bay Area, sunny and hot inland with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 for Santa Rosa and Napa. San Francisco warms into the mid-80s under sunny skies, and San Jose climbs into the low 90s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, beautiful picture of a backyard there this morning down at the south end. Some lights and going to be a beautiful sunrise and a beautiful day.
You know, when it comes to forgiveness, I have often mentioned it is wonderful to receive, but sometimes very difficult to give. And especially something that we should keep in mind, because Jesus has forgiven so much. But with that in mind, here's some great encouragement with Johnny Erickson Tata.
How is it possible that we, who have been blessed and loved by God far beyond anything we could even earn or do, how is it that Christ gave his life for us, for the love of us, so merciful, so kind, and yet we are so unloving to others? And it doesn't even have to be a big argument. It could be a snide comment, a condescending look meant to put somebody in their place. Or it could be a little one-upmanship with a Christian friend. Why do we do that? What we ought to do is what Jesus says in John 13, love one another as I have loved you. Oh, Christ has forgiven us so much. Can we not forgive others in the same degree? Recently, Ken Tata came home from the store and he had forgotten to pick up an item I specifically asked him to get. And when I realized that he forgot it, he said he was sorry, but still I said something nasty under my breath. Well, Ken heard that. He heard me growl. Bother, I was caught. You know, I could be so quick to fault others rather than offer the same grace that God gives me. But again, Jesus says, love one another as I have loved you. Friend, Christ loves us without a hint of fault-finding. In fact, he bore God's judgment against us when he suffered and died. If I had done that kind of love and grace, perhaps I would have said to Ken, oh, don't worry about that item here. Here, let me go and run to the store right now, and I'll pick it up. If you need me to get anything else, just give me a call, Ken. It's clear that I do not love like that. Yet God knows I want to. I really do. And so today, I am keeping it in the front of my thinking to show mercy to others in the same way God has shown mercy to me. So join me, would you? And let's love each other. Let's love our friends and our fellow students and our neighbors, our spouses, our co-workers. Let's love as Christ has loved us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know Ken.
Oh, yes, you
He's a
do.
hoot of a guy, yeah. And I know him enough to know that he probably turned around and went back to the store.
That was a good idea, Ken.
Yeah, that was a good idea, Ken. All right, good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories on this Wednesday morning. And, of course, the strategic strikes in Iran are kind of amazing in spite of the some members of the media here trying to play it down otherwise.
Yeah.
But Israel's took out a main guy yesterday. Iran's Minister of Intelligence was killed overnight with a precision strike. A senior Israeli official told the news media, and struck the Iran missile strikes along with the country's coastline near the Strait of Hormuz. So they're down to almost like surgical operations, so to speak. Not that all of it hasn't been, but even more so. So they got another important leader. The Ministry of Intelligence. Now, you got to remember the day before they wiped out the two guys that were running the war.
Yeah, right. Right.
Now they got him. So they know where these people are.
Well, yeah, and this is kind of interesting. The head of intelligence gets hit like this.
Yeah.
What does it say about the level of their intelligence?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
This was a big oops.
Ooh.
Now they're strategically going after the missile sites along the strait.
Okay.
And so it looks like this thing's getting down to very precise operations,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more so than we've seen. In the meantime, the Washington Post, I don't understand media. You and I were talking before the show. It's even mentioning this, I got to be careful because it could come off wrong.
Okay.
And I just want to say, this isn't a pro-Trump statement.
Okay.
If you can separate yourself from that and ask yourself, has the Trump syndrome impacted our culture so much that we've gone crazy?
Yes.
And you kind of go, okay, so what's the point of Washington Post publicizing a false story?
Well, furthering their narrative and their agenda. Yeah.
So why would you risk the integrity of your operation?
Because they have no integrity anymore.
Well, okay, based upon what? So the syndrome for the anti-Trump syndrome is so amazing. It is so serious. It is so real. People can't see straight.
And people are actually starting to admit it, saying, yeah, I got it. I don't care.
So yesterday I thought, well, I got to be fair because I know quite a few people that really are hooked on CNN. So I sat there and I watched it yesterday from my desk, which I have other things to do.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
so I have TV up there and I'm watching this thing. I thought, I got to give this a fair shake.
Okay.
And I went into it. I would say I was doing other things, but I'm listening and kind of over here, okay? And I'm paying attention.
Yeah.
So about an hour into this, it dawned on me that no matter what the topic was, no matter what the topic, the only thing that wasn't anti-Trump were the commercials.
What a statement. Oh, my gosh.
I'm serious.
Oh, man.
At the end of the day, every commentator brought the anti-Trump into the story.
Of course.
And I'm thinking, you guys have more employees than you have audience.
Exactly.
This is absolutely crazy.
And that's why.
You are so bent sick over this, you can't even publish something in fear that you couldn't twist it.
Yeah.
Well, here comes the Washington Post, citing reports of unnamed sources. That's the first thing, when they say unnamed sources.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Said that unnamed sources said that U.S. intelligence officials have assessed that Iran's regime remains stable despite the ongoing strikes.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Now, let me ask you this. Israel and the United States have this intelligence where they can find the bad guy and take him out while he's sleeping, so to speak.
Exactly.
And the Washington Post has more intelligence than the U.S. and the Israeli intelligence to go in there and say that the regime is intact.
Yeah.
How in the world can you prove this?
Yes. And
well, the White House came unglued.
Oh, good.
As you can imagine, and shoved back.
Oh, good. What did they say?
Shove it down your throat.
Okay. Well, you know, it's interesting because it looks as though Iranian leadership, we're at about the JV level right now because the whole varsity team has been wiped out. How can that be stable?
You know, I don't understand how they could publish a story like, and Bezos, now, he's funding this thing, and it's bleeding. It's hemorrhaging red ink. Excuse me. It's hemorrhaging. And yet, they still publish this stuff. Even the New York Times once in a while, it can be absolutely terrific, it can be absolutely stupid.
Well, they're letting the inmates rule the asylum. But a number of these organizations have actually made some efforts to kind of straighten out the newsroom and get them a little bit more down the middle of the road. And every time it happens, the staff revolts and the staff wins.
Well, there's a problem here.
What?
Jeff Bezos needs to walk through the building. He owns the paper.
Right.
He needs to go up to the newsroom and say, you guys have 30 seconds to get your desk cleaned out.
Yeah. Yes.
But when you're going to hire people to do your job, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
But moreover is, why would the Washington Post risk its own integrity to make a statement that they cannot back up, and the only thing they have is unnamed sources?
Right.
And they publish that. I go, so Washington Post is now the CNN of print, and they're gonna. It's just a matter of time. And I don't want to see our industry get damaged like that. But the credibility of our industry, these guys are hurting all of us.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, so much for that.
Well, it's true.
Fraud. The little guy that uncovered all the fraud in Minnesota.
Oh yeah,
Strictly?
Nick Stanley.
Yeah. Nick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, apparently he's given Governor Newsom a headache.
I saw something about this. Yeah.
He's uncovering fraud in California.
Shocking.
And he said it's nothing compared to Michigan. So in the meantime, there's a hearing combating Medicare and Medicaid fraud. That's kind of how it begins, the misusing of these funds.
Okay.
And Kimberly Branch, she's the deputy administrator, talks about how important to stop this corruption really is. And here's what she had to say in a hearing yesterday.
The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is entrusted with overseeing programs that provide health coverage to more than 170 million Americans and accounts for nearly $1.8 trillion in annual federal spending. In fact, if CMS was a country, it would have the 16th largest GDP in the world. With that responsibility comes a clear moral mandate. protect taxpayer dollars, and protect the beneficent seniors, including some who purportedly were providing hospice services. Sadly, these homes were not providing any of those services. And in fact, law enforcement had to raid one of those homes because the residents were malnourished and improperly cared for. The conditions were appalling. Unclean living conditions, moldy food, and most importantly, no caregivers present. Yet the owners of these homes were receiving $6,000 a month per resident, $36,000 total for 6 residents, for services that were clearly never rendered, and yet taxpayers were footing the bill. This is unacceptable, and why CMS is so focused on stopping these egregious behaviors to ensure the health and safety of our beneficiaries.
Okay, so they continue to uncover this.
Right.
Question.
What?
No heads have rolled.
No heads have rolled. And why is it that the left is so resistant to exposing fraud?
Well, I think it's obvious because it's
Because they're mired in it?
It's money laundering at the highest.
There you
okay,
go.
how does somebody go in with a net worth of $300,000 and come out with $32 million?
Yeah.
So this stuff is obvious. The question is, all right, we're uncovering it. One of the reasons the Democrats are so upset with the Republicans, especially this president, he has taken the norm and turned it upside down. Okay, so they hate him for it.
Yeah.
But my concern now is we've exposed all this stuff. Not one person has been indicted.
So,
not even Governor Walz with his phony testimony in front of the Congressional Committee.
Okay.
They nailed his hide to the wall, and yet he walks out.
Okay, so with that in mind, what does this mean for Pam Bondi and Kash Patel?
I think they're in trouble.
Okay, yeah.
I thought they were both a little bit more aggressive. It could be they're just overwhelmed. It could be, and this is part of, if you read the Rules for Radicals, overwhelm the system so much that it can't function. You overwhelm the system so much with fraud and corruption that it cannot function. Where do you go to start?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so they have exposed this stuff, and it could be that the system is so overwhelmed. I mean, this is a real possibility. It's so overwhelmed that it can't function.
Okay.
There's so many cases and so few to work those cases that the system can be overwhelmed. It would seem to me you would do with these agencies what you did with Iran.
What?
All these years, Israel's been fighting Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis.
Right, yeah.
And some stuff up out of Syria and all that.
The Iran proxies, yeah.
So after a while, you got to take the head of the snake and cut it off, and that's what we did.
Right.
So what they have to do with these agencies is go right after the leaders and get them. But there is nothing. Only thing is you have a heated congressional hearing and people walk away and
nothing happens. Right.
So why fear the law?
Yeah.
If you're an insider and you're part of the elite, why fear the law?
Yeah. Well, that's true too. And what does this say to the common folks on the street and how we regard the law?
Well,
what kind of an example is that?
Well, to young people, it means nothing.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, it's sad.
I was the other day. I saw an interesting article about young people not showing up at veterans events.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, what is it about a young person that they can't respect a veteran?
I don't know. Is it all the stuff that we've been hearing on mainstream media and from the left on how they demonize?
Well, it's what they're taught in school or not taught in school.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what the key is. You know what it is? When you've lost the value of human life and somebody dies for something else, it's no big deal.
Right, right.
So earlier we had the comment where somebody, where somebody lays their life down.
Right, National Supreme Sacrifice Day.
Right, so you lay your life down for your country.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't value human life, you wouldn't value what just happened.
It doesn't mean anything.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Oh, man.
Gosh, that's heavy stuff for us.
It is.
All right. Yeah. What is today? National Pumpkin Day or something?
We're eating Sloppy Joes and thin oatmeal cookies.
You know what?
What?
I could do the Sloppy Joe without the bun. I'd put it on a salad.
Oh, okay. You know, and for dessert, I'll take 2 of the cookies, a scoop of ice cream in between, and make a sandwich out of it.
Bingo.
All right.
We're going hunting.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
The 71.5 Golf Challenge arrives Saturday, May 16th with a 4-person scramble, morning and afternoon shotguns, and a 6:30 award social. Register your team by April 1st for an early bird special. Score the team player pack for just $20 instead of $100 with the code EARLYBIRDIE. Become a sponsor and help kids across Southern Oregon. Visit 715.org or call 541-779-3275. At the 71.5 Golf Challenge, your drive saves lives. Thank you to our Dove partners for your faithful support. You make it possible for the gospel to be broadcast 24/7 on TV and radio, not only locally, but also around the world online at theDove.us. Thank you. Your faithful giving to the Dove is touching lives here and now, but more importantly, for eternity. Thank you for keeping the Dove encouraging and informative. We can't do it without you. More at theDove.us. They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission: present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
29 past the hour, a little bit of our own backyard news up at Crater Lake. Beautiful place. If you've never been there, you need to come and go visit that.
Oh, yeah.
While you're here, spend a lot of money. You ever heard of the white bark pine tree?
No.
Well, it's up there at Crater Lake, and they have been dying. And in fact, one of the ecologists up there, Michael Murray, thought that the park's majestic white bark pine trees were as good as gone.
Whoa.
They apparently got this, what they call the white bark blister rust, and it was killing them.
Okay.
And they were dying left and right, and he pretty much wrote them off and thought that I expect to lose about 90% of the white bark trees at least throughout the region. Well, another scientist comes along and says, wait a minute, we found something that we might be able to fight this and turn this around.
Really?
So they're going to be treating these trees to see if they can turn this stuff around and stop this white bark blister. Now, why is this important?
Yeah.
So they're replanting those trees and doing some stuff. Well, if you've ever been around the rim of the lake, they're beautiful. And you don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
So apparently this nursery guy, scientist guy, figured out an antidote to this, and they're going to be treating them. Well, the other park guy thought, well, for whatever it is, we're going to lose them. Well, maybe they can save some now and then certainly replenish others with trees that are healthier. So a pretty good thing going on.
Well, you know, I wonder, this probably isn't related, but it reminds me of the problem that we've been having, especially around here with a lot of the Doug fir. My property, we got dead Doug fir all over the place.
So did they die from the top down?
I don't know. They're just dead.
Okay.
But that could be.
All right. So if it's a high probability, from what I've been told.
I think it's beetle kill, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Right.
if it dies from the top down, that's usually a beetle.
So, but I mean, it's run rampant up side of my hill. You can see I have BLM behind me, and it's just covered with dead trees.
Yeah.
Dead trees all over the place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So anyway, hopefully they can get this little thing figured out a little bit. All right. Let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on out there. Again, there's a system, but you wouldn't know it here.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know it.
It's way up north of us, so Washington will get it. But California, Nevada, Oregon, all severe clear.
78 today.
All right.
79 tomorrow, bumping into 80. But by the weekend, back into the mid 60s. Okay. So do we have freedom of speech in our country or not? And what does that include? Does it include stuff that we put on our bodies, you know, things that say things, like ball caps and T-shirts and stuff like that? We've seen a lot of incidents where people put on a red ball cap that's got those letters on that says "Make America Great Again," and stuff just breaks loose sometimes. So Dave Bonhoff is a retired Baltimore County police officer, and he in his retirement was a school bus driver, and he's been wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, and he was told to take it off. Instead, he quit his job, and he's got these comments about this situation.
The hat that brought all this about, I've been wearing for off and on for 3 to 4 years now. I've been driving a school bus for that amount of time, and in that time, I've worn it off and on several times throughout that time. In fact, my employers have seen the hat. They've seen the hat while I wore it and never had an issue with it. When it became an issue, I was notified by Christ Transportation, my supervisor. They had received a complaint from the school district about me wearing the hat. Somebody was offended. So they called transportation director, and the transportation director contacted Christ Transportation and said, you know, you can't wear this hat. Christ Transportation, my boss from Christ Transportation contacted me and said, look, we're going to buy you an American flag hat. You can wear that. And I said, well, I have plenty of hats. The hat in question, it has an American flag on the side of it. I don't know if you can see it from the photo. It's got "Make America Great" on the front. On the side, it has an American flag, and on the back, it has nothing. And on the other side, it has nothing. So they told me that I had to stop wearing it. And I told them, well, I have plenty of hats. What's wrong with the hat that I have? They said, well, the school is offended by it. We're not offended by it. Nobody here at Christ Transportation is offended by the hat, but the school is. So you can't wear the hat. And I said, is this a condition of my employment? Are you telling me that if I want to wear that hat, I can't drive a school bus? And she said exactly that. She said, if you wish to drive a school bus, you can't wear the hat. Well, I've heard from a lot of the newscasts that have made the circuit here that they've not given me an ultimatum. I would beg to differ. If you tell somebody that it's a condition of your employment, you either wear the hat and stay home, or you don't wear the hat and drive a school bus. I believe that's the very definition of an ultimatum.
Okay, a little advice would have been let them fire him.
Yes, I agree.
But he came to the conclusion that he was going to get fired anyway. Okay. So go home and get your hat where it says "Jesus loves me and you," and wear that one and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So something's, well, again, there's the syndrome.
Yeah, right.
And guess where it came from?
Where did it come from?
Schools.
Schools. Oh, yeah.
Propagandizing.
That's
schools.
right. Yeah. Well, he was an interesting fellow. I think he's got a side job. He looks like Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top.
Yeah.
So,
you ought to give beard growing lessons.
That guy has got a serious beard. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
when I grow up, I want to be able to grow something like that.
It ain't happening. We'll be right back.
Okay.
You are invited to the 2026 Access Senior Fair, Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rogue X. Over 80 vendor booths offering helpful resources for seniors and their families. Try your luck at a round of bingo complete with prizes. All are welcome at the largest free and fun senior resource fair in Southern Oregon. We'll see you Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rogue X.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
Good morning to you. A lot in the news.
Courage comes when you've been with Jesus.
A movie monster made his larger-than-life debut, introducing audiences to a giant ape brought to life through groundbreaking stop-motion animation.
In fact, I'm in the stage of life where I'm letting some things go.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, well, I won't tell you what.
Add some fun to your mornings. Watch Mornings on the Dove weekdays.
Okay, welcome back. 23 minutes before the hour. Let's check in with our friends at CBN News and Chris Mitchell and find out the latest from the Middle East this morning.
Ali Larijani, he had a $10 million bounty on his head. He was the de facto leader on the ground of the IRGC, and he has been confirmed eliminated by the IDF. And additionally, Soleimani, who is likely responsible for the killing of most of the protests. He was the leader of the Basij force, and he has also been eliminated. So a lot of activity happening already this morning. This has been confirmed by both Netanyahu and the IDF. And Gideon Sar, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, said a very interesting quote about the elimination of Larijani. He said, the U.S. wanted to pay millions for it, and we did it for free. So they saved the U.S. $10 million. There you go. But we'll have lots of breaking news throughout this broadcast. One thing we wanted to point out before we throw it to the news desk is that we are live on YouTube, and it would be amazing if you could subscribe and if you could comment below and even share this live broadcast with your friends and fans on Facebook, Instagram, and all the different socials, so that we can get the word out that we are broadcasting and more people can learn the truth about what's happening here in the Middle East. And for those of you interested, you can leave a comment below with questions about the war, and we'll try and get to some of those questions. And we're also curious to hear what you think about how long this war will continue. So if you've got a guess on how much longer this war will go on, go ahead and leave that in the comments.
So coming up on our report today will be our Middle East correspondent Paul Petit, Judah Taub from Hetz Ventures, and Joshua Waller from the Israel Guys. And before we come to all that, we're going to have our latest update.
Calling Iran a paper tiger, President Trump says 7,000 Iranian targets have been hit so far, reducing the regime's missile capability by 90%.
They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone.
But opening the Strait of Hormuz to get oil flowing remains a problem. Trump is rallying other countries to help, but says the response is split and the EU is disinterested.
Some are very enthusiastic and some are less than enthusiastic, and I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years.
The president declined to name the countries, but says about 7 are on board so far, adding that the U.S. could go it alone if needed.
It always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them.
Asked by reporters who he's dealing with in Iran, the president says he's not sure.
All of their leaders are dead, as far as we know, but they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with.
Both the U.S. and Israel are still not certain about the status of Iran's new supreme leader.
A lot of people are saying that he's badly disfigured. They're saying that he lost his leg, the one leg, and he's been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead.
Where is Mujtaba? I mean, they elected the leader. He's not there. You can hide, but it's better to show up. You can have a video and prove you are alive.
In Lebanon, it's raining leaflets, warning residents there to evacuate as Israeli defense forces push deeper into southern Lebanon, saying it could be like Gaza. CBN News spoke with a pastor in Germany, a former Iranian Muslim who once served with Hezbollah. His connections inside Iran tell him that if the U.S. and Israel fail to force regime change, it could have catastrophic implications.
If they do not change this government, they will have to answer in the history for the massacre that is about to happen, that the massacre that would be Holocaust-like. If the government is not changed, then the world, United Nations, and every European, especially Europe, not North America, Europe, has to prepare itself for literally millions and millions of refugees that will flood their nations.
The Wall Street Journal reports the crackdown has already begun as security forces battered by U.S. attacks ride through the streets at night, brandishing their weapons and threatening to arrest or kill so-called collaborators. At least 500 people have been arrested since the start of the war. And today, the IDF announced it's killed the head of the Basij, the paramilitary force carrying out the crackdowns, as well as the head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Inside Israel, the daily Iranian missile strikes continue, with large debris landing Monday near the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem's Old City. And Israel feeling the brunt of the war in more than one way. Here at Jerusalem's Old City, many shops have been shuttered. Access is largely restricted to residents, and the Western Wall has been shut down. Jerusalem's tourism industry once again getting hammered. Paul Petit, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Wow, good. Amazing stuff. All right, let's check out the weather. Let's see what's happening on the weather scene from a guy that occasionally needs a little help.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a much quieter pattern in place for Wednesday across northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain with mostly cloudy skies and highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a slight chance of rain this morning in Salem and some patchy fog around Corvallis, then partly sunny with highs near 67, in Albany near 68 and low 70s in Eugene. Sunny and warmer in central Oregon. Prineville tops out in the upper 70s under sunny skies. Sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 70s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 80. Along the coast, sunny to mostly sunny skies for Coos Bay, Brookings, and Crescent City with highs in the mid to upper 60s. A slight chance of morning rain around Port Orford, then mostly sunny with a high near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny and warm for the Rogue Valley with highs in the upper 70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Over in Klamath Falls, sunny with a high in the mid-70s and low in the upper 30s. Into Northern California, sunny and warm in Wairika with a daytime high near 80. Further south, sunshine and much warmer conditions with highs in the low 90s in Redding, Chico, and Sacramento. Across the Bay Area, sunny and hot inland with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 for Santa Rosa and Napa. San Francisco warms into the mid-80s under sunny skies, and San Jose climbs into the low 90s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Low 90s?
Yes, low 90s, yeah.
All right, well, there's a picture of our day. It's beautiful as the sun comes up.
Yeah, all right. Well, you know, it's been said that we live in a throwaway society. Or disposable.
Yeah.
We'd like to toss stuff. Well,
you ever take a TV to a repair shop anymore?
They have repair shops anyway? Really?
Oh, you know.
Okay, well, on this day in 1966, a fashion trend began that you won't find in stores today because it was designed to be thrown away. The Scott Paper Company introduced paper capers, colorful, disposable dresses sold for just about $1. Customers mailed in proofs of purchase, and soon these lightweight outfits were arriving by the hundreds of thousands. Made from a special paper fabric called DuraWeave, the dresses were sleeveless, A-line, and meant to be worn just once. They were even flame-resistant, but washing them could make them dangerously flammable. The trend took off fast. By the end of 1966, more than 500,000 had been sold, and other companies jumped in, creating branded designs including the famous Campbell's Super Dress. At its peak, paper fashion brought in millions, with some even predicting travelers would ditch suitcases for disposable wardrobes. But the fad didn't last. By 1970, complaints about comfort and growing waste brought it to an end. Today, those fragile pieces of fashion history are rare, and some can sell for thousands of dollars.
One way to give up smoking.
want to smoke? No, I'll pass. I'm wearing my paper dress.
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing was they tried to put like flame retardant on it, but it disappeared if you washed it. And some people tried to wash their dress.
I don't know. Wow.
Okay.
All right. Good morning to you. Samaritan's Purse, can't say enough about this organization. They're all over the world just doing humanitarian work, unlike any organization that I know of. They are simply the best at what they do. And they are in the Dominican Republic of Congo doing surgery with children born with the cleft lip, and which, if it isn't addressed, can be quite serious. And here's a little bit of a report.
Hi, my name is Bethany Dencham. I'm a cleft lip and cataract program manager. Cleft lip is a congenital deformity. It develops in the very early stages of pregnancy, usually between around about the 4th and 6th week of pregnancy is when it begins.
A lot of people don't realize that with these kids and their deformities, they're not treated well back home. Being the nurse here constantly with the patient throughout the process, you get to love on them. You get to tell them they're beautiful. You get to tell them that Jesus loves them.
Many people restoring their smile in their communities and for the glory of the Lord.
One of the biggest things that we can do with these campaigns is to continue to do it. This program that Samaritan's Purse has devised is hugely helpful in communities and for individuals to feel the love of God, to know His concern for their lives in a very practical way.
A huge part of the support that we are just grateful for is people's prayers for this program. We are incredibly grateful.
All right, Samaritan's Purse. They just do everything right.
Just amazing.
And they do it in the name of the Lord.
Yes.
Good stuff all the way around. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Where I don't know all of the comfort you bestow. Where could I fall? Where could I land? Where I'm not resting in your hand. And how could I stray too far?
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? When you want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life, call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
10 minutes before the hour, yesterday I had Michael Bustler on. He's a professor of economics and everything. We talked about the war and its impact on global markets, especially what's happening with oil. But I did ask him a side question. I said, what does it say, if this war is over in the next couple of weeks, what does it say about the war between Russia and Ukraine that's been going on for a couple of years? Here's what he had to say.
Russia doesn't have near the military power that the U.S. has.
Israel and the U.S. Fought a war against Iran back in June, lasted 12 days. This war, which President Trump says we're going to wipe out their nuclear program completely, we're going to wipe out all of their ballistic missiles and their launch pads, so they won't be able to shoot them anymore. We're going to wipe out their facilities to produce drones and try to wipe out as many as possible. Now, the drones are in tunnels under the ground, so a little hard to get to, but we'll try to wipe that out. And we're probably going to end up with regime change since we really killed most of the top leaders. So what it says to the world is the U.S. is by far the most powerful country in the world. And when we have the most powerful military, and we can pretty much do what has to be done in a relatively short period of time. Fortunately for the world, the U.S. is not aggressive in terms of trying to acquire property. The only aggression the U.S. has taken is in countries where a dictator rules and the people do not have their freedom. So we took Maduro out of Venezuela. Probably in about 4, 5, 6 months, they'll have elections and elect somebody who will be more of a democratic society and with more freedom. Cuba, the regime there is just about to fall. They're economically collapsing. So that will probably bring more of a democratic society to Cuba. Now we have Iran, who had terrorized the Middle East and much of the world. And in a matter of probably 4 to 6 weeks, we'll have completely neutralized them and hopefully get into a new regime. So what it says is the American military is powerful enough to make these changes and defend where we need to defend. Russia, who was thought to be a superpower, taking 4 years, and they can't defeat Ukraine, who is far from a super power. So I think there'll be more respect for the U.S. military as time goes on. The theory is peace through strength. And in fact, the stronger your military is, the less likely you'll end up having to use it. So the stronger you are, the less likely you'll have to use it. Why? Because potential adversaries will realize how strong the U.S. is. And if they try to do anything and the U.S. goes against them, they can get completely wiped out, in a matter of weeks or even days. We come out of this much better. I think Russia and China look very weak after this.
That's a great point he made at the end, because I think one of the concerns has always been if you act too boldly in that part of the world, then you have perhaps some serious ramifications from China and Russia. And they seem to be non-entities right now when all this plays out.
Well, they're both suffering from oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they've also showing that they're weak. That's huff and puff and then no smoke.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's an interesting thing. The danger of where we are today is the depleting of our assets. And so the procurement of more military assets is now going to be at high order in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to have to budget for that. That means you have to cut other things to do that. But that's the cost of war too, And but we're going to be in there, anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks, and take care of the biggest threat to the world. And Russia's been in there going on 4 years, and they can't complete the job. Something is terribly wrong. And by the way, the irony of all ironies, Zelensky said yesterday, we're here to help the United States with Iran in any way we can. Well, there's nothing they can do, but the gesture is there.
Yeah.
So, are we too late?
Well, no, we're not. I got a good one here.
Okay.
What started as a simple coffee delivery turned into a life-changing moment for one couple. Check this out.
In Manchester, Tennessee, a woman checking her doorbell camera noticed an elderly delivery driver slowly struggling up her steps. The 78-year-old man named Richard carefully held the railing as he delivered the order. Moved by what she saw, she learned Richard had been working for DoorDash to help cover expenses after his wife lost her job and therefore the money to help pay for the medication for her kidney disease. She first tried to tip him more, then took it a step further, posting the video online and later launching a fundraiser. The response has been overwhelming. Donations poured in from around the world, raising more than $500,000. For Richard and his wife, it means something they haven't had in years, the chance to finally slow down. A small act of kindness turning into a life-changing gift.
That's a beautiful story.
I love it.
Take it with you today.
Love it.
I take with you Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. All right, there you go. What a promise today. Romans 15:13. Take that with you. Beautiful sunrise in the valley, warming up into the high 70s, maybe low 80s, as we are 1 day away, 2 days away from spring.
All right.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Welcome to Fish Lake Resort, where adventure is everywhere, and everyone is your friend. The fishing is great, and the food is tasty. The RV sites are full hookup, and the cabins are cozy. It's always a good time at Fish Lake Resort, and the best part is, you can come visit any day of the year because we are open all year, 7 days a week. Visit fishlakeresort.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous. They're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At theDove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with theDove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together. Give today at theDove.
It takes time to ask questions and understand. Focus Today does just that. We give you an hour so you can understand better. Good morning. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. Jerry Bildin's here. That's all that counts. Welcome to Happy City right here.
Yes, indeed. Good morning.
Yeah, this is Happy City. This is where it happens.
Yeah.
And
we're not sure what happens or when it's going to happen.
No, we just roll with it.
It just goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Like the weather.
Like the weather.
But that's nice. Yeah.
That's really nice yesterday. I just sat out in the sun. I was like an old horse laying out on the grass, you know. you ever notice horses and cows and things will lay down on their side? Soak in the vitamin D. A dog? You have a dog?
He's on the front yard like this, on his back.
Yeah.
Yep, I know the deal.
There you go.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way myself.
There we go. Happy Wednesday to you. 2 days away from the first day of spring, but boy, you'd think it has already sprung.
Yeah, you think it's summertime in some spots. It's really warming up.
Yeah.
Man.
All right, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news. We'll have that for you. What do you got?
Well, first of all, it is National Supreme Sacrifice Day, and we usually come to mind men and women in uniform who have laid down their lives protecting our country and our communities. But this day also honors those who have stepped forward during times of crisis to rescue a stranger or a neighbor and gave the supreme sacrifice that day. So we honor all of those who have done that, and especially those family members who continue on with their memory. So the National Supreme Sacrifice Day.
Wow.
It's also National SBDC Day, National Small Business Development Centers, and you brought it out before, the backbone.
The #1 employer still in America.
There you go.
Small business.
How is small business being treated by government, especially our state government these days?
Well, come on, let's have a happy moment.
Okay, if you are involved in SBDC, more power to you.
Yes.
Hope you have a great day.
You know how, what is it, SP, whatever?
As Small Business Development Centers, SBDC.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what it takes to start one of those?
What?
RISK.
Yes. Are you willing to step out of the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the greatest failure is failure to try.
Yeah, true. And
that means risk.
Yes, it does mean risk. But if you're willing to risk, more power to you.
All right.
Also, here we go, National Biodiesel Day.
Oh, French fries.
There you go. It commemorates the birthday of Rudolf Diesel, who invented the diesel engine. He unveiled it at the World's Fair in 1900. It was originally designed to be run on peanut oil, and Diesel was a big believer in the role plant oils would play in fueling America.
I always thought that would be a good name for a chihuahua.
What, bio?
No, diesel.
Diesel.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little thing.
Oh, my goodness. Here, Diesel.
You expect it on a big old bulldog, but
here, Diesel. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Well, diesel, biodiesels, it's not out of the news. I mean, it's still there. Pretty much everywhere we go fill up now has got a little bit of plant oil in it, But also National Awkward Moments Day. It's something that we all try to avoid. Perhaps you have helped someone through an awkward moment. Some of our better halves have done that regularly. Thank you, Pam. You helped me out quite a bit in that department. We try to avoid them, but they happen. Also, National Lacy Oatmeal Cookie Day. Ooh. Some people refer to this as National Oatmeal Cookie Day, but that's not. That's celebrated on April 30th. The difference between the two is that Lacy oatmeal cookies are wafer thin and typically accompany a scoop of ice cream or sherbet. Ooh. I'd like to have a scoop of ice cream between them. It looks like a nice ice cream sandwich material right there. Thin oatmeal cookies. Oh, looks good. And we usually have our main meal before dessert, like cookies like that, but not this case. We're having National Sloppy Joe Day today.
Sloppy Joes.
And of course, the origin of the Sloppy Joe is debated. One story traces it to Sioux City, Iowa, where a cook named Joe added tomato sauce to a loose meat sandwich in the 1930s, creating the sloppy version of the dish. Another tale points to Havana, Cuba, though, in 1920, where bartender Jose Abel Otero served a shredded beef sandwich with tomato sauce called the Ropa Vieja. The messy bar floors led patrons to nickname the sandwich Sloppy Joe. And did you know that American pop culture has celebrated Sloppy Joe? It has appeared in movies like Billy Madison, It's a Wonderful Life, and Citizen Kane. And in 1969, we're watching being prepared right now, Hunt's introduced the Manwich, a canned version that made preparation easier and more convenient, and all the single men said, "Amen." Yeah, it's the Manwich.
The Manwich.
Yeah, baby.
Well, here's an awkward Manwich.
Oh, no. look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a much quieter pattern in place for Wednesday across northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain with mostly cloudy skies and highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a slight chance of rain this morning in Salem and some patchy fog around Corvallis, then partly sunny with highs near 67, in Albany near 68 and low 70s in Eugene. Sunny and warmer in central Oregon. Prineville tops out in the upper 70s under sunny skies. Sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 70s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 80. Along the coast, sunny to mostly sunny skies for Coos Bay, Brookings, and Crescent City with highs in the mid-upper 60s. A slight chance of morning rain around Port Orford, then mostly sunny with a high near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny and warm for the Rogue Valley with highs in the upper 70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Over in Klamath Falls, sunny with a high in the mid-70s and low in the upper 30s. Into Northern California, sunny and warm in Wairika with a daytime high near 80. Further south, sunshine and much warmer conditions with highs in the low 90s in Redding, Chico, and Sacramento. Across the Bay Area, sunny and hot inland with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 for Santa Rosa and Napa. San Francisco warms into the mid-80s under sunny skies, and San Jose climbs into the low 90s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful day over our valley, and sun is popping up, and you can see all the green. Spring is springing. Spring is springing or springing?
Spring, yeah, that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, popping up. All right. Well, we know that in our Christian walk, there can be battles to hold on to your hope, joy, and your peace, but hold on. Here's some encouragement with Johnny Erickson Tata.
Hi, I'm Johnny Erickson Tata. And you know, there are those mornings, aren't there, when you wake up and, I don't know, your alarm clock doesn't go off, you're late, you rush out the door, halfway tripping over toys, to then find a blinking, check your engine light. Yikes, you know, they're such small things, but man, can't they take you out of the battle, right? Well, sure, you're on your way driving to work, but you're already fighting off discouragement and worry. Well, you know what? The Bible insists that this kind of stuff, this life is a constant battle like that. Not against flesh and blood, not against a messy living room or a broken alarm clock or an engine light. No, it's a battle to hold on to your hope. Friend, hold on to your joy and to peace. And Ephesians chapter 3 tells us that as we face our trials courageously, guess what? We're then elevated beyond all that small stuff onto a cosmic field of warfare where the stakes are about as high as you can get. So tomorrow, when you get up, remember, you either make His grace appear empty by not trusting Him, or you make His sustaining grace famous by winning those small battles. And when you do it, when you hold on to hope and joy and His peace, the victory is yours and the glory goes to Christ.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well, you've had those days.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, I call them days of just red lights and stop signs.
Red lights, stop signs, and I like that. She threw in the engine light, too. Check engine light. I hate that. Oh, my goodness.
When you go home and say, all right, well, I'll try it again tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff all the way around. Let's check out some of the top stories this morning. And again, another strategic blow to Iran's leading military regime. Iran's Minister of Intelligence was killed overnight by a precision strike. The senior Israeli official told the news media that the leader was taken out by a missile sites and or by a direct hit. And so I don't know who's left doing what for them, but apparently this was the lead intelligence minister. Now, his own intelligence didn't tell him that the other intelligence that they were coming. So anyway, he was taken out over the evening, and then they continuing to strike the missile sites along the Strait of Hormuz, and apparently that is being strategically looked at as well. So things are pretty bad there in Iran. Just about everything has been taken out, but you wouldn't know that according to the Washington Post.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I don't understand why some of this media does what it does to itself. But the Washington Post cited unnamed sources, that ought to give you a little bit of a hint, that U.S. intelligence officials have assessed that Iran's regime remains stable despite ongoing U.S. and Israeli attacks. So let's think about this. You have some of the biggest intelligence, smartest people in the world on the Israeli side and the U.S. side. Being able to tell where these leaders are moving and take them out. And yet, the Washington Post has inside intelligence that says that none of the regime's leading military people have been damaged.
Yeah, well, that's their hopes. That I don't know how they get off on these side tangents.
Jeff Bezos owns it.
How do you combat it? If you're the boss, how do you fix this?
Well, these are rich people that own things because they want the pride of owning it and not paying attention to what's going on. But if Bezos has a half a brain, he'd walk in there and fire everybody. But the Washington Post is bleeding badly. It's just a matter of time before it's out of business, like a lot of newspapers. But moreover is that they would print these false stories, and then you turn around and you have this stuff going on. Well, the White House overwhelmingly rejected the report yesterday.
Okay, all right.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
All right, the other thing is fraud. The fraud thing is so interesting to me. They have uncovered in excess of $9 to $10 billion fraud up there in Governor Walz's state, and yet doesn't seem to be doing much about it. And some of the fraud that's being uncovered is the Medicaid and Medicare fraud. In other words, Medicaid and Medicare payments go to these places to do something. The service is never rendered, but the money is pocketed. Now that's fraud. Well, Kimberly Brandt, she is the deputy administrator there, talks about stopping this kind of corruption, and she's testifying, and she gives a little bit of illustration of how bad it is.
The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services is entrusted with overseeing programs that provide health coverage to more than 170 million Americans and accounts for nearly $1.8 trillion in annual federal spending. In fact, if CMS was a country, it would have the 16th largest GDP in the world. With that responsibility comes a clear moral mandate: protect taxpayer dollars and protect the beneficent seniors, including some who purportedly were providing hospice services. Sadly, these homes were not providing any of those services. And in fact, law enforcement had to raid one of those homes because the residents were malnourished and improperly cared for. The conditions were appalling: unclean living conditions, moldy food, and most importantly, no caregivers present. Yet the owners of these homes were receiving $6,000 a month per resident, $36,000 total for 6 residents, for services that were clearly never rendered, and yet taxpayers were footing the bill. This is unacceptable, and why CMS is so focused on stopping these egregious behaviors to ensure the health and safety of our beneficiaries.
Okay, so trace the money. You got Medicare, Medicaid coming from the federal government to a state to be dispersed for these services. The services are never rendered, but the money is pocketed.
All right.
Who's responsible?
Well,
the governor. Let me tell you why. Because the money went from the feds to the state. The chief executive of the state is the governor.
Right. Where's the buck stop?
So it goes down to all these agencies. Now his cop out is, well, I didn't know. Well, you're the boss. You're supposed to know. Then you get down to the agency heads, and then you get down to the agency head that was giving money to these groups of people out there that were supposedly having hospice homes or whatever they were providing, wasn't giving the services to the people but pocketing the money. And no follow through. So if you were to uncover this from how I see it, it's 100% of a state's obligation, from the governor down to the agency leader and even to the provider.
All right.
All those people should be brought up. All we're doing is uncovering the mess, which we need to do. We need to uncover it. We're all shaking our head how bad it is. We're all upset about it. But nothing seems to get done about it.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What does this say about the people who should be ultimately overseeing this stuff, and that looks like people like Pam Bondi and Kash Patel.
Yeah.
What does that say about
There's
that
great
situation?
concern as to whether or not, A, they're capable, or B, they're overwhelmed.
Oh.
Okay. They're certainly investigating a lot of this.
Yeah.
And some agencies, state agencies, they say, well, we've arrested some people. Which
Well,
is
yeah,
nothing
we've
more
heard
than a
that.
subterfuge.
Okay. All right.
But on the federal side, the Bondis and the Patels is now appearing to be a little bit on the side of non-production.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, it could be that they're overwhelmed. There's so much to do.
Okay.
Where do you start?
That could be.
The only thing I can tell you is you better get something on the table pretty fast.
Yeah.
Because the interpretation is you're doing nothing.
Right. So I think that leads some people to think, okay, they're either overwhelmed or there's no there there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they need to do something.
They better come up with some serious indictments, and some people need to go to jail, but nothing has happened.
Yeah.
The number one target, and he's sliding through, is Governor Walz.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
I don't know. It's easy for us to say that because we don't have all the conditions, but on the appearance of all this stuff, it's just really interesting to me. So anyway, those are some of the top stories on this Wednesday morning, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And when we come back, we'll talk about trees.
Where could I land where I'm not resting in your hand? And how could I stray too far away where you won't leave the 99 to come?
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
But it's just hard to believe that the United Nations goes into this Emergency Security Council to condemn the war on a nation that has killed 40,000 plus of its own people.
For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted, quote, "Death to America."
What good is the United Nations?
News with a little bit of common sense. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays 6 to 8 a.m.
All right, 19 minutes past the hour on a beautiful Wednesday morning out there. Wow. You know, we just need to open those big doors.
Yeah, we do, yeah.
All right, have you ever heard of the white bark pine tree? Well, in 2002, the Crater Lake National Park ecologist Michael Murray thought that the park's majestic white bark pine tree was all but gone. That they had contacted this disease and they were slowly dying, and he just thought, well, we're going to lose them all, you know. And we've kind of seen this in nature, you know.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Well, anyway, an invasive fungus called the white pine blister rust was killing the rugged long needle pine tree around the Crater Lake area, and pretty much have been written off that they were going to lose them until some other scientists came along and saw a way to save these trees from the extinction using a method that can also help protect other species. And they've been developing this now in nurseries and other things, and they're going to start treating the trees. And apparently they may have found a way to stop the dying. And of course they'll have to grow some and replace some. But if you've ever driven the rim, you know, everything up there is beautiful.
Yes.
And but every once in a while you'll drive around in the forest and you'll see a patch of something that just seems to be dying naturally.
Yeah.
Beetles are problems.
You know, we've had a lot of beetle kill in other trees. We've seen a lot of damage to the Doug firs.
Yeah.
But so what, you know, it's interesting too, Perry, because I remember years ago I was watching one of those old Jacques Cousteau, you know, documentary things, and he was tracking salmon, and they were up like in the Yukon somewhere, and they were watching the salmon were coming up and they were running out of water, and one was kind of high and dry on a shoal, and they wouldn't help it because that would be interfering with the natural order of things. And I thought, and I started thinking about this. Now, obviously, there have been bugs and diseases and things that have infected trees as long as this earth has been here. So how active do we get, and do we have any power to stop this stuff?
You know, you bring up the big question, the naturalization of everything.
Yeah.
Organically. So
yeah.
You know, look, when they took all the dams out of Willamette River, the fish migrated miles, tens of miles, hundreds of miles past where the dams were.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So, did God have it right to begin with? What about wildfires?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
And they burn themselves out.
Right.
Is that part of the natural thing?
Yes.
Okay. Now, one of the things is, are these trees up there, what they call the white bark pine tree, are they a result of man pollution?
Yeah.
There's that problem.
True. Good point. Yeah.
You've got air quality and all these other things going on.
Yes.
So I don't know the answer to that. I do know that nature is nature. Things come, things go.
Yeah.
Why don't we have dinosaurs running around anymore? Besides you and me.
I was going to say, are you sure we don't?
Well, I noticed the skin between your toes.
Oh, golly.
Anyway, good question. I can't answer it.
Yeah,
all right. Let's take a look at Wall Street for this Wednesday morning. Thank you, Preston. He has smart lawn, and you should get smart and get that lawn, too. Anyway, good morning to you. The Dow is off 180 this morning after a pretty good bump yesterday. The Nas is down 46.5. S&P down 16, almost 17 points. So starting the day a little on the downside. We'll see how the day goes. It's just been going for a while. Silver's down, or gold's down. Look at that, down below 5,000 at 48.73. Remember, it was up around 52. Silver's down to 77. Look at crude oil.
Yeah. Let's check it out. 104.23.
$104.23. Now hold on, folks. This will slow things down. There is no question about it.
Wow.
So they got to get the ships moving.
Yep, they got to get that thing opened up.
Yep.
Well, you know, I think that we know that we have freedom of speech in our country, yet when it comes to things like wearing particular wardrobe items that make political statements, I think, especially if it's a red ball cap, and it says MAGA, or it says something like Make America Great Again. I think some people are reluctant to wear these things because of what happens as a result. And last hour we listened to Dave Bonhoff. He's a retired Baltimore County police officer, and in his retirement he was bus driver, and he was wearing a Make America Great Again hat, and he was told by the company that he works for to take it off. They didn't have a problem with it, but the school district in which he drove, they had a problem with it, and apparently they told him it was a condition for his employment, so he decided he didn't want to be employed there anymore. He made a few comments in the last hour on a national report, and he has a few more right now.
The school district is saying that I'm not an employee of theirs. If you look at all their social media stuff, it says I'm not an employee of theirs. Therefore, it's Christ Transportation that's doing this. Christ Transportation, in the very beginning, told me they had no problems with it. They weren't offended. Let me see what we can do. Give me a couple of days. Let me see what we can do. And I told them, if you tell me that I can come back to work, wear my hat, I'll gladly come back and wear my hat. But by telling them that I'm not going to wear the hat anymore, it's saying that I find something wrong with the hat that I've been wearing for 3 years. And I don't. And I think that by telling me that I can't wear this hat essentially stripping me of that right of my freedom of speech. Now, Christ has fired back and said, well, there's a dress code, and their dress code is common sense stuff. You can't wear anything that's alcohol, tobacco, firearms related. You can't wear anything that's crude. You can't wear anything that's vulgar. But they never ever discussed a MAGA hat.
Yeah.
They never said anything about wearing a America Great Again hat. They did say you can't wear open-toed shoes and you can't wear clogs. But the one thing that they say is this falls under the political sentiment. And that's, again, where I would say, how does this hat show any signs of political partisanship or anything like that? It has nothing on it about a party. It has nothing on it about a candidate. It just says, hey, I want this country to be great.
Yeah.
Well, there's the argument. But the point of this is it also sounds like he was really protecting his employer.
Oh, yeah.
Because he emphasized the employer was forced to be doing this because of their contract with the school district.
Yeah.
And it was the school district doing this.
Yeah,
so that ought to, let you know how biased the school district is. But at the end of the day, is it a freedom of speech?
It seems to be, yeah.
So you can't wear a cross?
Oh.
Can you wear a hat that says Jesus loves me and you too?
Why not? Yeah, you should be able to.
But you can't wear a hat that makes a statement because it's automatically associated with Republicans and the president.
And Donald Trump.
So there is the jump there from that to what it says to who's behind it. So this is going to be around for a while. It's part of the syndrome, which is so amazing to me.
Yeah.
It's just overwhelmingly amazing to me how the syndrome is so blinding to people.
Totally. Totally.
Anyway, that's some of the top news on this Wednesday morning as Jerry Building is looking for a Sloppy Joe.
Yeah.
With hot sauce.
Yeah. You're cooking.
Even when the rain falls, even when the flood starts rising, 'cause even when the storm comes, I am washed by the water.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
You are invited to the 2026 Access Senior Fair, Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rogue X. Over 80 vendor booths offering helpful resources for seniors and their families. Try your luck at a round of bingo complete with prizes. All are welcome at the largest free and fun senior resource fair in Southern Oregon. We'll see you Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Rogue X.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At theDove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with theDove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at theDove.
Hey, how y'all doing out there? Happy, what is today?
Wednesday.
All day long.
Humpy day.
Humpy day.
Yeah.
All right, with, let's see, Sloppy Joes and little cookie things.
Oh, yeah, little flat oatmeal cookies.
Flat, crispy oatmeal cookies.
Ice cream carriers.
Ice cream carriers.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Good stuff all the way around. All right, good morning to you. 1:30, and we're going to slip over to the news desk in Israel at the CBN news desk and get caught up on what's going on.
Ali Larijani,
He had a $10 million bounty on his head. He was the de facto leader on the ground of the IRGC, and he has been confirmed eliminated by the IDF. And additionally, Soleimani, who is likely responsible for the killing of most of the protests. He was the leader of the Basij force, and he has also been eliminated. So a lot of activity happening already this morning. This has been confirmed by both Netanyahu and the IDF. And Gideon Sar, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, said a very interesting quote about the elimination of Larijani. He said, the U.S. wanted to pay millions for it, and we did it for free. So they saved the U.S. $10 million. There you go. But we'll have lots of breaking news throughout this broadcast. One thing we wanted to point out before we throw to the news desk is that we are live on YouTube, and it would be amazing if you could subscribe and if you could comment below and even share this live broadcast with your friends and fans on Facebook, Instagram, and all the different socials, so that we can get the word out that we are broadcasting and more people can learn the truth about what's happening here in the Middle East. And for those of you interested, you can leave a comment below with questions about the war, and we'll try and get to some of those questions. And we're also curious to hear what you think about how long this war will continue. So if you've got a guess on how much longer this war will go on, go ahead and leave that in the comments.
So coming up on our report today will be our Middle East correspondent Paul Petit, Judith Taub from Hetz Ventures, and Joshua Waller from the Israel Guys. And before we come to all that, we're going to have our latest update.
Calling Iran a paper tiger, President Trump says 7,000 Iranian targets have been hit so far, reducing the regime's missile capability by 90%.
They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone.
But opening the Strait of Hormuz to get oil flowing remains a problem. Trump is rallying other countries to help, but says the response is split and the EU is disinterested.
Some are very enthusiastic and some are less than enthusiastic, and I assume some will not do it. I think we have one or two that will not do it that we've been protecting for about 40 years.
The president declined to name the countries, but says about 7 are on board so far, adding that the U.S. could go it alone if needed.
It always bothered me that we're protecting and we don't need them.
Asked by reporters who he's dealing with in Iran, the president says he's not sure.
All of their leaders are dead, as far as we know, but they're all dead. We don't know who we're dealing with.
Both the U.S. and Israel are still not certain about the status of Iran's new supreme leader.
A lot of people are saying that he's badly disfigured. They're saying that he lost his leg, the one leg, and he's been hurt very badly. Other people are saying he's dead.
Where is Mujtaba? I mean, they elected the leader. He's not there. You can hide, but it's better to show up. You can have a video and prove you are alive.
In Lebanon, it's raining leaflets, warning residents there to evacuate as Israeli defense forces push deeper into southern Lebanon, saying it could be like Gaza. CBN News spoke with a pastor in Germany, a former Iranian Muslim who once served with Hezbollah. His connections inside Iran tell him that if the U.S. and Israel fail to force regime change, it could have catastrophic implications.
If they do not change this government, they will have to answer in the history for the massacre that is about to happen, that the massacre that would be Holocaust-like. If the government is not changed, then the world, United Nations, and every European, especially Europe, not North America, Europe, has to prepare itself for literally millions and millions of refugees that will flood their nations.
The Wall Street Journal reports the crackdown has already begun as security forces battered by U.S. attacks ride through the streets at night, brandishing their weapons and threatening to arrest or kill so-called collaborators. At least 500 people have been arrested since the start of the war. And today, the IDF announced it's killed the head of the Basij, the paramilitary force carrying out the crackdowns, as well as the head of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Inside Israel, the daily Iranian missile strikes continue, with large debris landing Monday near the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem's Old City. And Israel feeling the brunt of the war in more than one way. Here at Jerusalem's Old City, Many shops have been shuttered. Access is largely restricted to residents, and the Western Wall has been shut down. Jerusalem's tourism industry once again getting hammered. Paul Petit, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, that's pretty amazing that they can be so strategic. And yet, the Washington Post can come out with an article that says that the military is unfazed by all this. It's staggering to me. So who's right?
Right, I don't know. And yet the Strait of Hormuz obviously still closed, and the president has been trying to get some allies involved in it and has been getting a lot of rejections in it. He finally said, well, it's okay, we don't need you guys, we'll do it ourselves.
I did notice something, though, in all these reports lately.
What?
We've replaced killed, killing, and dead with 2 other words.
And they are?
Eliminate and neutralized.
That's pretty sanitary, isn't it?
You notice that?
Yeah.
They don't say killed, killing, or dead.
Yeah,
they use the word either eliminate or neutralized. Okay.
Okay.
Which kind of speaks of the weather report. Here it is.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With a much quieter pattern in place for Wednesday across northern Oregon and southern Washington, a chance of rain with mostly cloudy skies and highs in the mid-60s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Moving down the Willamette Valley, a slight chance of rain this morning in Salem and some patchy fog around Corvallis, then partly sunny with highs near 67, in Albany near 68 and low 70s in Eugene. Sunny and warmer in central Oregon. Prineville tops out in the upper 70s under sunny skies. Sunny in Bend and Sun River with highs in the low 70s. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 80. Along the coast, sunny to mostly sunny skies for Coos Bay, Brookings, and Crescent City with highs in the mid to upper 60s. A slight chance of morning rain around Port Orford, then mostly sunny with a high near 60. In southern Oregon, sunny and warm for the Rogue Valley with highs in the upper 70s for Grants Pass, Medford, and Ashland. Over in Klamath Falls, sunny with a high in the mid-70s and low in the upper 30s. Into Northern California, sunny and warm in Wairika with a daytime high near 80. Further south, sunshine and much warmer conditions with highs in the low 90s in Redding, Chico, and Sacramento. Across the Bay Area, sunny and hot inland with highs in the upper 80s to around 90 for Santa Rosa and Napa. San Francisco warms into the mid-80s under sunny skies, and San Jose climbs into the low 90s. It's a snapshot of your Wednesday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot from the top of Mount Baldy this morning. If you're looking out, the sun is up. That's McLaughlin off to the left there. And isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
Just a gorgeous shot.
You know, I don't know about you, but I hate doing laundry. You like doing laundry?
I thought I have a machine for that.
I hate but you got to tend it. You got to put this stuff in there. You got to measure out the thing. Then you got to transfer it from one. You got to dry it. Then you got to pull it out. You got to fold it or hang it up.
Separate the colors from the white and all that stuff.
No, I just want to throw it away. Yeah, just you wear it once and throw it away. Well, on this day in history, you could do that. In 1966, a fashion trend began that you won't find in stores today, and that's because it was designed to throw away. Check this out. The Scott Paper Company introduced Paper Capers, colorful, disposable dresses sold for just about $1. Customers mailed in proofs of purchase, and soon these lightweight outfits were arriving by the hundreds of thousands. Made from a special paper fabric called DuraWeave, the dresses were sleeveless, A-line, and meant to be worn just once. They were even flame-resistant, but washing them could make them dangerously flammable. The trend took off fast. By the end of 1966, more than 500,000 had been sold, and other companies jumped in, creating branded designs including the famous Campbell's Super Dress. At its peak, paper fashion brought in millions, with some even predicting travelers would ditch suitcases for disposable wardrobes. But the fad didn't last. By 1970, complaints about comfort and growing waste brought it to an end. Today, those fragile pieces of fashion history are rare, and some can sell for thousands of dollars.
One way to give up smoking.
You flick your ashes someplace else, buddy.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, my
I don't
God.
remember those, do you?
No, I really don't. No.
They're flammable to begin with, and they sprayed them with something that wouldn't make them flammable.
Well, yeah, and then you wash them, and for those who decide, oh, I'm going to get more out of this, you know.
Did they shrink? Put them in the dryer?
What a question. All right.
I don't know. That's good stuff all the way around. Well, Samaritan's Purse, one of the premier, in fact, I think the premier humanitarian organization out there in Dominican Republic of the Congo doing surgeries, and here's a little bit of a report.
Hi, my name is Bethany Dencham. I'm a cleft lip and cataract program manager. Cleft lip is a congenital deformity. It develops in the very early stages of pregnancy, usually between around about the 4th and 6th week of pregnancy is when it begins.
A lot of people don't realize that with these kids and their deformities, they're not treated well back home. Being the nurse here constantly with the patient throughout the process, you get to love on them. You get to tell them they're beautiful. You get to tell them that Jesus loves them.
Many people restoring their smile in their communities and for the glory of the Lord.
One of the biggest things that we can do with these campaigns is to continue to do it. This program that Samaritan's Purse has devised is hugely helpful in communities and for individuals to feel the love of God, to know His concern for their lives in a very practical way.
A huge part of the support that we are just grateful for is people's prayers for this program. We are incredibly grateful.
Wow. Well, they show God's love by doing things like that. Absolutely.
And they are always on the go. The logistics of Samaritan's Purse is stunning. I can't imagine how they manage it.
Well, I had a chance on several occasions to talk to Franklin. He's just really a super guy, very busy. In fact, when I was at the NRB, his personal assistant sat next to me for dinner, and we had a nice conversation, and we're working on something there. So, but anyway, I said, you know, being a pilot, I'm really interested in their aviation department, and they have a complete aviation department. They retired their old 707 and DC-8, I think they called it, and then they got this new 757. But they have a host of airplanes literally all over the world. And if you noticed on that report, they had a refurbished DC-3. At the end of all their tail numbers on the airplane, they'll have SP, which in airplane talk, that's Sierra Papa.
Okay.
It stands for Samaritan's Purse.
Okay. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So a little trivia.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't win any money with that on Jeopardy.
No, but it's good enough.
All right, we're going to take a Jeopardy break. Let's see here. Sloppy Joe's for 400.
Boom.
We'll be right back.
All right.
Bring a smile to his face. Tell the story of grace with every move that you make and everything that you do.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Panoramic Moto Tours was born really out of my passion just to ride the greatest back roads and the scenic highways in our beautiful Northwest. God put it on my heart to share the experiences and invite others. More than riding beautiful roads, it's the camaraderie and fellowship. It's hearing each other's stories. It's being mutually encouraged on our journeys of life.
Riders can book one of our ready-to-ride guided tours offering the best of Oregon or Northern California, or Book a private custom tour tailored just for your group to destinations like Glacier or Yellowstone. For more information, go to
panoramicmototours.com or call me, Nick, at 541-622-3844. When you find something you love, you just want to share it.
panoramicmototours.com. Your next adventure starts here.
All right, welcome back. We were chit-chatting. Have you seen the new post office delivery trucks out
No, I have not.
there? You haven't seen any of them?
No. What is it?
The other ones are still kind of, they all have to be right-hand drive.
Right, yeah.
And so, but the new ones, it's kind of like a camel is a horse designed by a committee.
Okay, this is a great lead up.
Wait, you'll see one now and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right.
But this new United States Post Office delivery truck is like a duck-bill platypus.
In how it looks or in its function?
Probably both.
Okay.
But in its look. Wait till you see one.
Okay.
Now, they're big, huge windshield on them.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
But this flat nose, I didn't know they could squeeze an engine down that flat. Wait till you see it. It's really interesting.
Leave it to the post office to do something like that. I wonder how easily maintained they are. Can they be worked on? You're going to take it to a mechanic and say, this is great design for this, but I can't get to that. You take someplace else.
Well, look, first of all, I don't think it's a manufactured vehicle. It's a vehicle that was put out for bid, probably the lowest bidder. Okay?
Yeah. It's a post office. You're right.
All right.
Yes.
But when you see one, now, I know I'm making fun of this, but when you see it, you're going to see what I'm talking about. It looks like a duck-bill platypus. You know what a duck-bill platypus is?
Yes, yeah.
It's a animal. It's got this long...
It's a mammal with a duckbill on it.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's got almost like a tail like a beaver and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know. Oh, I know it. I saw a story with a post office truck on it, and that kind of reminded me of that.
Were you out there waiting for your mail?
I'm still standing out there. No, I don't understand that. We can't afford 79 cents.
Oh.
Somewhere along the line, the government's got to step in and say, all right, can we do all mail now through email? I mean, don't get me wrong. We've gone to the electronic world for just about everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we have. Yeah.
But
yep.
Now here in Southern Oregon, they threw all the dispatch up to Portland and back.
Yeah.
So your mail gets dumped into a dump truck. It's taken up there, dumped out, processed, and then sent back to you.
Okay.
They call that efficiency.
Hey, you're opening a can of worms. So
sure.
we're doing. You are, because now I'm dovetailing on this. Okay. So now you said we're doing so many things online, including exchanging documents. We're signing documents online, and I got something from my insurance company. I had to get it signed, and I had to get it over to my doctor. I had to get it signed electronically, and then I had to resubmit it electronically. And I thought, well, this is just too hard for her and everything. So I printed it up. I took it in. I had her sign it, and then I took it back home. I made a digital copy, and I sent it in. And I'm waiting. Are they going to take it, or aren't they?
I don't know.
Huh? I mean, you just got to jump through hoops these days like you can't even believe.
But they have rules that when you receipt somebody, it has to be first class.
Oh.
So the cost of us receipting from we started this to where we are now, is 79 cents a piece.
Right.
You go, this is you take that times 1,000. What do you got?
A lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Kind of crazy.
Wow.
All right. Anyways, so much for all that. Duckbill platypus. Wait till you see it.
I'm going to be driving home like this now. Where is it? Where is it?
Okay, you'll see one. And when you do, you're going to laugh because I'm right.
I'm thinking of you. All right.
Michael Bustler, I always like having him around. He's a professor of, he's kind of like a, well, first of all, he's a financial economist professor and teaches college level stuff. And he also is an expert on global issues. But I did ask him with the recent AI, what do we call AI? Oh, Alfred Inman. So AI to us is Alfred Inman. Alfred Inman, okay.
Oh, gosh.
It's disrupting the labor market and its impact on workers. So they're saying that AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, but could create a bunch of jobs. And here's his take on it.
We're going through a disruption in the labor market, and that's happened before. Way back in the Industrial revolution, when the computer came in, when the internet came in, there's disruption in how things are done. When you have these kinds of disruptions, there's a lot of job displacement. So people who are in kind of routine jobs, working on an assembly line in a factory, even a data entry kind of clerk, drivers of trucks, AI will end up taking a lot of those jobs, and you'll see a little push up in unemployment as a result of that. However, AI will eventually add significantly more jobs. It will make every worker more productive. And when workers are more productive and more efficient, they can produce more goods at a lower price. That tends to be very good for the economy. Also, there are applications of artificial intelligence we haven't even thought of yet. So as that happens, I believe it will lead to very strong economic growth as we implement this, and people can start to do a lot more. In the long run, I think it's positive. In 2020, the World Economic Forum did a study, and they said before the end of the 2020s, AI will probably have displaced about 80 million workers worldwide, but it will have added 97 million jobs worldwide. Now, I'm not sure about those numbers. This is a reputable source where this study came from. But the point is, they believe in the long run, AI will add more jobs than it will lose. So there'll be a shift in how we do things. I tell my students, get the best education you can, get as well prepared as you can. So when these AI opportunities are available, you'll be able to take advantage of them. Where we're going to have a problem is somebody, middle-aged people, they've been doing factory work or driving a truck or data entry work, for 15, 20, 30 years. They're now in their 40s and 50s. Those people will have to be retrained. At that age, though, it's very difficult to retrain people. I think it's important that either the government or through some public-private partnerships, we set up some education facilities so anybody who is displaced by AI will have an opportunity to get an education and learn how to do something else. The middle-aged people, that's going to be a little tougher on, but I think that's something that has to happen.
Let me ask you a question. Now, we see a very changing marketplace and an employment base out there. AI is coming into the workplace as well. We know there are a lot of college graduates with pretty much unusable degrees. They're trying to get the debt forgiveness for their college loans because they can't pay it off themselves. Okay, so as an employer, what would you recommend to young folks who, say, are still in high school or going into high school about what they should think about studying post high school? Where do you think, what would you suggest?
Gosh, first of all, hopefully you're following the lead of the Lord in your life, what He's calling you to do. God can use you at any capacity. But I was in a seminar where we watched a videotape of the president of Google. This was about 4 months ago. And the president of Google basically said to college students who are in college learning how to write computer software. He said, basically, while you're still in college, switch your major. Wow. Because computer software will be taken over by AI. Man. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be totally eliminated, but you're going to go into where AI writes the software, and then you're going to have to sit down and learn how to hack it so that it can become safe before you implement it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's a whole nother can of worms. Yeah. But the high-tech world is going to have a lot of challenges, okay? Yeah. I'm still not sure how AI helps in medicine or science, but apparently it's there, okay? It's certainly going to help in manufacturing.
Yes.
Okay, because it's robots. Yeah. But at the end of the day, somebody has to build the robot.
Right. Somebody's got to build the building. Somebody's got to wire it. Somebody's got to put plumbing into it.
There you go.
Yeah. Somebody's got to fix your car so you can get to it.
There you go.
Oh, my goodness.
There you go. You said it all right there.
All right. Well, what started as a simple coffee delivery turned into a life-changing moment for one couple, and this is very sweet. In Manchester, Tennessee, a woman checking her doorbell camera noticed an elderly delivery driver slowly struggling up her steps.
The 78-year-old man named Richard carefully held the railing as he delivered the order. Moved by what she saw, she learned Richard had been working for DoorDash to help cover expenses after his wife lost her job and therefore the money to help pay for the medication for her kidney disease. She first tried to tip him more, then took it a step further, posting the video online and later launching a fundraiser. The response has been overwhelming. Donations poured in from around the world, raising more than $500,000. For Richard and his wife, it means something they haven't had in years, the chance to finally slow down. A small act of kindness turning into a life-changing gift.
And you know, we see things online that we're like, this life in a digital world can be very dangerous, but there are some good things that happen as well.
All over the place. Senior investigative reporter for Epoch Times will be with us.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Wednesday, March Madness.
FanDuel is a portal to hell.
Sports betting is America's multi-billion-dollar vice.
They're screwing an entire generation of young men.
And the industry is growing.
People like the idea of winning a ton of money by betting not so much.
Why America has embraced gambling.
Sports just don't do it for them unless they also have skin in the game.
Watch the 700 Club Wednesday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Jerry, did you know that we're farmers?
Farmers? I knew there was a reason I like overalls.
At the Dove, we plant seeds of hope, truth, and the gospel every day.
And when those seeds land in the right hearts, lives change.
But every harvest needs more hands.
That's where you come in.
Today, become a farmer with the Dove. Plant a seed, help it grow.
Your gift reaches someone who needs hope.
Don't wait, join us in this harvest.
Let's grow something eternal together.
Give today at the Dove.
Common sense perspective from today's headlines.
So you really know what's going on. Join us weekdays for Mornings on the Dove.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. And of course, often we talk about Christian persecution. And sometimes when we think about it, it's always over there and they're really here. But we need to understand that over there means here too. And I'm really honored to have back with us today Brandon. He is the founder and the CEO of Across Nigeria, works directly with persecuted Christian communities there in northern Nigeria, providing aid, ministry support, and on-the-ground insight from some of the region's most dangerous areas, to say the least. Check out this website, acrossnigeria.org. And there's a picture of the landing page, acrossnigeria.org. Brad, good to see you. How are you, friend?
Hey, Perry, good to be on with you.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. This is so fascinating. And it's in and out of the news. But give us an update. There was a recent suicide attack there in Nigeria, and tell us about that one.
Yeah, on Monday night, there were 4 suicide bombers who coordinated an attack in a city called Maiduguri. We have operations in Maiduguri. 4 blasts went off, one in the middle of the city center, the other near a postal station, and then 2 went off in a teaching hospital nearby. All told, it was about 23 people were killed, 108 wounded. We lost 4 personnel from our organization in those blasts. So our organization is still reeling and recovering from that.
Wow. Just to kind of back up a little bit, Brad, give our viewers and listeners a little bit of a clear understanding. Just how bad is it there in Nigeria with Christian persecution?
Yeah, I mean, so far since 2009, there have been about 60,000 Christians that have been targeted and killed. There's 3.5 million Christians displaced in the region, meaning that their homes and villages have been destroyed. 18,000 churches have been burned and destroyed. If you took all the Christians in the entire world that were killed for their faith last year, 72% of those Christians were killed in northern Nigeria. It is the most dangerous place in the world to be a Christian right now. Areas controlled by groups like Boko Haram and ISWA. The Islamic State of West Africa, we operate in those areas that are controlled by those groups. We help persecuted Christians, and we also bring the gospel to the persecutors. So we're there actively evangelizing and preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ in those areas.
So you're actually mingling with them?
Yeah, we are. Last year, we saw 6 members of Boko Haram come to know Christ as their Savior. Their lives were radically transformed by the gospel. They've joined our underground churches, and we're in the process of discipling them. We also work with Fulani Muslims, very closely with Fulani Muslims. Fulani are responsible for the killing of thousands of Christians throughout northern Nigeria every year. We have very good relationships with thousands of Fulani communities throughout northern Nigeria. God's given us a great deal of favor in those communities.
Why hasn't the government got more involved?
Well, the Nigerian government continues to deny that there's any kind of targeting of Christians at all. Their response to it is that it's equal opportunity violence. They claim that just as many Muslims are being killed as Christians. That's absolutely not true. If you're a Christian in northern Nigeria, you're 5 times more likely to be killed. There is Muslim on Muslim violence. Mostly that is the radical Muslims going after Muslims who don't hold their radical beliefs. But by and large, and by far, Christians are targeted more so than any other group. I've stood at so many mass graves, I can't even remember them all. We've lost friends, we've lost personnel of our organization. 4 just on Monday were killed in the suicide bombings. That's been their response, and they've held to that ever since this has been going on. This has been going on for over 15 years. We've been involved in it for about 10. And the entire time they deny it. Anytime claims come up that there's targeted persecution against Christians, they'll often call it a hoax or an illusion or something like that. But it's clear. That would actually be laughable if it wasn't so serious.
So that clearly suggests that the government's been compromised, right?
The government is full of corruption. If you look at the ratings of the corruption of the Nigerian government, out of 100, it's listed almost near the bottom of all the governments in the entire world. It's given a score of 24. There are few countries that have a worse rating in corruption than Nigeria does. The government has a vested interest in keeping things destabilized in the north. It allows them to retain control. It allows money to flow in from other countries like Iran and other Mideast countries to support the reign of terror that's going on. So absolutely, the government's been compromised on this issue. And I should add, not only are they compromised, but they're trying to compromise our government. Earlier this year, we found that the Nigerian government had signed a $9 million contract with a Washington-based PR firm to try to change the minds of congressmen and senators about this issue. There's been a lot of movement lately in Congress to try to help the Nigerian Christians, and now the Nigerian government is lobbying to try to stop some of that.
Just a little bit of a side question, Brad. Is the Muslim on Muslim, is that a Shiite-Sunni rivalry?
Some of that is. There's a lot of that. The Boko Haram is a Sunni issue. There are Shia movements that are growing, particularly in northeast Nigeria. It's not exclusive to that, but that certainly is part of the problem.
Back to our government, I know that once in a while this slaughter, I don't know how else you could say it, does rise to the attention of the White House, and then it gets preempted by other things that are going on. Does it show up anywhere in the UN?
Yeah, it does. The UN is good at one thing, writing very strongly worded letters. That's about all they have done in the last 15 years to try to resolve this. There has been very little that has been done by the United Nations to try to bring an end to the targeting of Christians in northern Nigeria. That's an understatement.
If Iran is being eliminated, it looks like that it is, will that impact support there?
I think it'll impact to some degree. Boko Haram and ISIL will certainly find other ways to retain funding. They have other sources of funding throughout the Mideast. There are wealthy Arabs and Arabs who own companies, and they funnel money into those areas. It'll have an impact, a short-term impact for the immediate, but they'll find other ways and channels to bring those funds in and resume what they're doing.
So there seems to be an amazing spiritual resolve among these Christians, unlike anything that perhaps we know about or experience here, because we're not under the persecution they are. But their resolve is amazing. It would almost have to be miraculous, or am I over-describing it?
No, it is miraculous. I describe it this way. I think when you're under such intense persecution and living in those conditions, one thing that floats to the top is dependency on God. That's something that the church here in the United States, I think, has lost touch with to some degree. We can go to the store, we can walk down the street, we can go to work. We really don't have to worry about anything. We have insurance, we have protections. And although all of us need God, we often lose sight of that in the U.S. I tell people here in the U.S., you can't even walk out the door of your house in northern Nigeria without understanding and knowing and the need and dependency on God right in front of your face. I tell people it's often easier for me to be a Christian in northern Nigeria than it is to be a Christian here in the U.S. And what I mean by that is here in the U.S., you forget about your dependency on God. In northern Nigeria, it's a constant thought on your mind is how much you need God. I've never left somebody's house in northern Nigeria without having a prayer meeting before we've left that house. So it's just an entirely different perspective living in those conditions.
Brad, what would you like to see the United States do?
Well, I think I would like to see, first of all, the awareness continue to be raised so that the church knows what to pray for and how to pray for this situation. I'm reminded of Hebrews 13:3, where Paul says, bind yourself to them, those who are suffering for the cause of Christ, as though it's happening to you. So as you mentioned earlier, not something that's happening, something horrible that's happening somewhere else, but it's as though it's happening to us, our families. And the church really needs to adopt that perspective. And in order to do that, they need to know what's happening. So everywhere I go, I work on raising awareness. When I'm here in the United States, that's what I do. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm raising awareness of this issue so the church knows how to pray and what to pray for. And I always encourage the church and churches that I speak at, events that I speak at, pray for the persecuted. They absolutely need it, no doubt. But also don't forget to pray for the persecutors. And what I mean by that is that God would open their heart to the gospel of Jesus Christ. The solution to this problem, governments can help, institutions can help, no doubt. But the ultimate solution to this problem is the gospel of Jesus Christ. There's no quicker way to end terrorism. There's no quicker way to end persecution than to see the gospel of Jesus Christ transform somebody's life.
That's so beautifully said, Brad. You know, we talk about evil here. You face it over there. I wonder if we understand the difference.
Yeah, we face it every single day. There's been many times where our life is put in danger wherever we go. There's times where we operate in our underground churches. We're 12 hours in Boko Haram territory. You can drive 12 hours in any direction and you're still in areas that are controlled by Boko Haram. There's been times when I've been even in the city Maiduguri we were talking about earlier. We train our pastors there. I was there last spring training our pastors, and Boko Haram blew up a bus and killed 8 people about a block down from the compound I was staying in. We left Maiduguri going out of the highway, the one highway that goes into Maiduguri and out of Maiduguri. The next day after we left, Boko Haram stopped everyone on the highway and slaughtered about 30 people in the matter of 2 hours. I've been to places like Yalawata where 250 Christians were killed in one night. One man lost 20 members of his own family in one night that attack happened. They lit houses on fire. They stood outside those houses and shot women and children as they tried to escape. These are the conditions that we work in. These are the conditions that we operate in. But it's something that God has called us to do. And you have to realize when God's called you to do something, that his calling is bigger than any of us are. And so we work tirelessly to bring the gospel to those who need Jesus Christ and help the persecuted, particularly in and around the regions of northern Nigeria.
All right. In addition to prayer, how can people tangibly help you?
They can go to our website, and acrossnigeria.org, they can sign up for our newsletter. And that'll give them real-time information on what to pray and how to pray for our organization, what God is doing. There's a lot of horrible things happening in northern Nigeria, but God is doing some amazing things. We've seen 7,000 Muslims come to Christ over the last 10 years. We've started a Bible Institute that's training pastors, former Muslims, to be pastors and evangelists. God is really opening the hearts of Muslims in that region. And then at acrossnigeria.org, there's, of course, opportunities for people to support us financially. That's another need that we have. But I'll emphasize, our number one need is to have the church here in the United States on their knees, praying for the work that we do and the believers there.
You're fascinating, Brad. Thank you, friend, for your time. We value it greatly. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, please take time to visit acrossnigeria.org, the website. There's a picture for those of you watching on the Dove TV. There it is, and acrossnigeria.org. You can go there, check it out, sign up for the newsletter. If you feel led, certainly support them. But above all, get this information out. This is happening to brothers and sisters over there. Thank you, Brad. God bless you, friend. Let's stay connected.
Thanks, Perry.
Good to see you.
The 71.5 Golf Challenge arrives Saturday, May 16th with a 4-person scramble, morning and afternoon shotguns, and a 6:30 award social. Register your team by April 1st for an early bird special. Score the team player pack for just $20 instead of $100 with the code EARLYBIRDIE. Become a sponsor and help kids across Southern Oregon. Visit 715.org or call 541-779-3275. At the 71.5 Golf Challenge, your drive saves lives.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Do events in the world leave you confused and scratching your head? A world where up is down and down is up.
I'm Perry Atkinson. Mornings on the Dove knows how you feel. We're here to offer God's hope and encouragement and to help you to sort it all out.
And I'm Jerry Bilden. Mornings on the Dove alerts you to issues and events the mainstream media would rather you not know or know the truth.
A lot in the news today, some movement around in the Middle East, common sense discussions on today's headlines, and rational perspective on what's really going on.
That will leave you better informed and encouraged by the gospel.
In this upside-down world, there's one place you can trust to get it straight.
Check into Mornings on the Dove each day to find out what's really going on and to be encouraged.
Mornings on the Dove, weekdays from 6 to 8 a.m. on the Dove TV and radio. Streaming online at thedove.us, Roku, and Apple TV. The Dove, encouraging and informative.
All right, welcome back. And of course, Iran very much in the news these days, and the nuclear program and nuclear development over there, and that's one of the key issues, obviously. So honored to have back with us Dr. Kazem Kazrukian. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He's a professor of mechanical engineering at the University of Connecticut, a former dean of the College of Engineering. He's an expert robotic and complex systems. He has also written and spoken extensively on Iran, the Middle East, and issues of democracy and human rights. He's authored over 160 scholarly works and co-founded the academickeys.com, the academicjournal.com, which are professional platforms online. It's an online journal for academics. He does have a website, freeiransn.com, freeiransn, scholarlynetworks.com, and there's a picture of the landing page. Doctor, good to see you again. How are you, friend?
Good morning. It's wonderful to be back with you.
Thank you. So much to talk about. What do you... I'm trying to figure out how to start all this. How extensive was Iran's nuclear program?
It was truly extensive. I think that about 20 years ago, the Iranian resistance exposed this, and basically hoping that the world would put pressure on Iran to stop that. Unfortunately, we went through periods of time where the pressure on Iran was basically very superficial, and it was part of the broader policy of appeasement, and they allowed the regime to continue to expand it. Iran has been very close to nuclear bombs, at least before this summer, if they did not own it already. But I think that after the bombardments in the summer, and then after 12-day war, and definitely after the current war that we are in, it has taken a huge dent. I would not call it that it is over yet.
Okay, so part of the argument or justification of this war, that even after the 12-day war, where they took out some of the nuclear sites, that Iran was very close of still having a bomb and using it. Is that accurate?
That is correct.
Okay, so what do you know today? Have we taken care of that with the recent activity there?
So definitely a lot of facilities, including the main facilities in Natanz, and then the facilities in in eastern part of Tehran, and some other ones that are smaller ones, and some of the supporting industrial activities and facilities have taken a huge dent, if not fully destructed. And at the same time, there is the issue of missing 400 kilograms of enriched uranium that at the moment, to the best of my knowledge, no one have been able to figure out where exactly it is. So I think that currently Iran's capacity for enrichment is destroyed, or to a large extent for now paused. I don't think it is stopped yet, neither Iran's aspiration to become a nuclear power.
What about what's left in the way of enriched uranium? Do you know anything about that, and are we about to go after that?
I have no knowledge of anyone knowing anything about it other than the Iranian regime. There is no indication that the United States and Israel know where it is, and so far I would think that the Iranian regime still owns that, and it is in hiding somewhere.
A lot of countries have nuclear capability, nuclear weapons, but what made Iran such the threat?
Because Iran actually wanted nuclear capabilities to become an empire, a superpower in the region and beyond. And we know that Iran did not want it for out of goodness of their heart. They wanted Iran for the past 47 years have been ruled by a barbaric dictatorship that has aspired to expand their power way beyond their borders, and they have and being a nuclear power was again another step in that direction. If Iran were allowed to become a nuclear power, then the next thing they would do is they would take over Iraq and Syria and Lebanon and Yemen, and without any forces being able to challenge them, and aiming for Israel.
We've seen Iran, since this war started, launch missiles on its neighbors. So something has happened here. And I guess a question would have to be asked, if given the capabilities, nuclear capabilities, they actually were able to have them and use them, would they have used them on their neighbors? And if so, is that part of the Sunni Shiite rub?
I don't believe that this is a religious difference between Iran and other countries. I think that mostly it is because, first of all, Iran, part of Iran's strategy in this war is that to expand it, to make it expensive for United States and Israel and other countries who might support this, to hang in there and continue the war, to make it pricey for the countries in the region to allow U.S. planes and U.S. forces to use their bases and their headquarters in those countries. So Iran wants to expand it, and this is Iran's way of continuing the war. And I tell you this, that as long as there are no boots on the ground in Iran, the Iranian regime will not be toppled. U.S. and Israel can continue to bombard the hell out of Iran for the next 100 years, and they cannot claim victory unless there are boots on the ground that take over the headquarters, take over the bases in Iran. And without that, I actually think that we are facing a prolonged war. But at the same time, I think that when I refer to boots on the ground, the United States has declared, President Trump has declared that he's not interested in sending American soldiers there. And Israel does not have the soldiers enough to send them to Iran. So there is no one else to be on the ground but the Iranian resistance itself. Iranian resistance is an organized democratic force that have been fighting this regime for the past 47 years. They're under the rule of National Council of Resistance of Iran, led by Mrs. Mariam Rajavi, with a platform that is democratic, that's calling for a secular, democratic Republic of Iran. So, again, those are the people and that's the only scenario that I see that Iranian regime would be stopped. Short of that, we are facing a prolonged, expensive war for everyone, including United States, including Israel, and definitely Iranians can just continue to hold on.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, this is somewhat hypothetical, but if we pulled out today, what you're saying is that there's enough of the regime left to continue.
Absolutely.
Okay. So boots on the ground, which is now being considered, especially along the coastline there in the Straits of Hormuz. 2,500 are, I guess, there or on their way. In the meantime, it looks like Iran is running out of missiles. They don't have an airplane, they don't have an air force, they don't have a navy, et cetera, et cetera. Some of their key leaders is gone. The nuclear facilities have been pretty much neutralized. I don't know about the enriched uranium, what they're going to do about that. But it looks like they're knocked down, but you're saying not knocked out. Does that eliminate the possibility of the citizen uprising and taking the country back?
Under the current situation, I would say that the scenario is very complex. Everything that you mentioned is correct, and I agree with it. I think that the United States is considering sending about 2,500 or 2,200 soldiers and special forces to Iran. They are not the type of forces that are designed to take over the country. They are the type of forces that can go after very specific hard missions, win, and get out. These specialized forces are not enough, nowhere nearly enough to take over the country. And yes, Iran can run out of missiles. Iran can run out of basically ammunitions, but they will continue to stay and fight until there is someone who go there and take over their headquarters and their bases. And all over the country, in thousands of cities and villages around the country, that needs to happen. And go ahead.
No, excuse me. It seems to me that the intelligence, Israeli and the United States intelligence, is fairly significant where they can sniff out an individual. So they probably know what's left and where they are, don't you think?
They definitely know, and they have been very good in figuring out where the top of the pyramid is, or the top layers of the pyramids are, and they have been going after them. Tens of Iranian leaders have been dismantled, have been taken out, to a point that actually there is a confusion on who is running the country, but the country is being run. There is a flat organization under the top of the pyramid that can continue to survive. That means that very difficult life for the Iranians themselves, very difficult environment on the streets, not something that would be suitable as is under the bombardments for people to do the uprising, but it would be basically a stealth situation in which basically everyone would be entangled in this street fight, if there is a street fight with boots on the ground. Wow. So what I'm trying to say is that without boots on the ground, the current situation can continue for years without anyone being able to claim victory. Therefore, the only chance, the best chance United States has is to work with the Iranian dissidents. Iranian dissidents is basically National Council of Resistance of Iran, the only organization that has a broad range of forces in various cities all over Iran.
Very, very fascinating and interesting. Dr. Khosrownian, thank you so much for your time. I wish I had more. I want to get you back. Let me share to our viewers and listeners, check out the website, freeiransn.com, which stands for Scholars Network, freeiransn.com. Thank you, sir. Can we get you back?
Thank you very much. I would love to be back anytime.
Thank you. Have a great day. Thanks for your time.
You too.
Have you seen Mornings on the Dove?
That they found out that the Ayatollah and all of his leaders were in one building.
This is not a single overnight operation. The president has the authority to wage war.
We see Iranian women in the street celebrating, and we see liberal women in the United States protesting. It's interesting. What a dichotomy.
Wake up to information. Mornings on the Dove, weekdays.
The threat of wildfire poses a growing risk to Oregonians. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be wildfire ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Okay, welcome back, and the timing couldn't be more perfect to have back with us Joshua Phillip. He is an award-winning journalist and the senior investigative reporter for the Epoch Times. He's the host of Crossroads, a news and analysis program there with Epoch TV. His work has been included the background investigation into the origin of COVID-19 and Wuhan laboratory there in the early days there in China, and especially during the early days of the pandemic. You can go to theepochtimes.com is the website. Excuse me, there's the picture of the landing page, theepochtimes.com. Joshua, good to see you again, friend. How are you?
Always a pleasure. And seems that things keep getting more interesting in the world every time we talk.
I shake my head. I don't know how you sleep at night, given your background. There's so much to take a look at. Let's do a few domestic things here first. Joe Kent, top counter terrorism official there in the agency, quit. He resigned and gave a bunch of reasons for it. Right in the middle of this conflict in Iran. What's your take on this one?
I have two different minds on it, and this is just based on, kind of reading what we've seen out there. One side of me says that, well, maybe there is some dissent within the Trump White House. Maybe not everybody agrees with his actions on Iran. I think his reasoning doesn't make sense to me, especially from somebody who would be involved in counterintelligence and would understand the Iranian threat. Basically, from what I get, he's saying that he's leaving because Iran did not pose a direct threat to the United States. That's not true. Intelligence, including given to Donald Trump during the 2024 elections, Trump was even briefed by the FBI on it, said that the Iranian regime was plotting to assassinate President Donald Trump during the election. This is not a rumor. This was mainstream news coverage. This was FBI briefings. This was public. The Iranian regime was threatening and plotting to kill the leading presidential candidate during one of our elections. Iranian agents have been arrested in New York City, in Washington, D.C. for plotting assassinations, working with transnational crime groups to do it on American soil. The threats of Hezbollah, especially in Latin America, and especially because of the open borders, are a huge problem. Anybody involved in counterintelligence would know all these threats. And of course, not to mention economic threats, involvement with China and Russia, and the entire, I think, broader picture of what's happening right now. To me, his statement does not line up, even with basic knowledge on national security. His claims on why he left do not line up. From within the Trump administration, he's being accused of being a leaker, suggesting that maybe Maybe he fears prosecution. Maybe he fears investigation. Again, I don't know if that's the case or not. But this is also in context of Tucker Carlson now coming out and claiming we don't know whether this is true or not, but according to him, he claims that his communications with the Iranian regime prior to the U.S. attacks right now were being monitored by the CIA, suggesting that he could face foreign agent charges under FARA, under the Foreign Agent Registration Act. That would suggest, if that is true, that the U.S. government is looking into people who may have been leaking, may have been in communication with the enemies of the United States, and maybe this is related to Kent, maybe not. But again, these are kind of the factors I'm looking at.
Do you think it could just be simply an inter-office squabble with his boss?
It actually would have been better for him to come out and just say that, to be honest. That, I have the internal disagreements, because the statement he made makes less sense than that, my take.
Gosh, it's horrible if he's possibly a mole.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't know if he's been leaking stuff to Iran, but there are accusations in the White House that he was leaking stuff to like the media. And this is a big issue too within the Pentagon. This was part of the conflict, in U.S. intelligence and defense. But this is part of the context of why the Pentagon, put additional requirements on journalists, made so they can't roam around the Pentagon building. A lot of the leaking that was taking place within U.S. military action was coming through that. Based on this, we can say without a doubt that the Trump administration is taking internal leaks a lot more seriously. Whether that's involved with this, maybe, but that is the accusation he's facing.
Amazing. 30,000-foot view, how do you think America's taken the war?
My view on the war with Iran is probably a lot different from what you're going to hear from most people, mainly because I don't see it as being isolated. In my eyes, this is interconnected with everything happening with Venezuela. This is everything interconnected with the new Trump regional defense pact he made with many Latin American governments, going after cartel networks throughout Latin America. This is tied in with the upcoming talks with China, which are now delayed, by the way. This is tied in with Russia. This is tied in with the possible regime change in Cuba. Iran is part of a global kind of axis. And Iran and the conflict there cannot be viewed as being separate from this global axis. From my perspective, this ties into the war plans of the Chinese Communist Party, the preparations to invade Taiwan. In their own writings, they were saying that in order to invade Taiwan, they'd first need to get America involved in 3 other wars. They wanted a war with Russia, which they got. They wanted a war in Latin America, which was avoided after Trump took out Maduro in Venezuela, because Venezuela was actually preparing to invade Guyana literally within any minute when Trump captured Maduro. That would have happened within any minute when that took place. And Iran was the third piece. They wanted a terror war. And Iran is kind of the puppeteer of global terrorism, plotting attacks in Iraq, plotting attacks in Afghanistan, feeding the fires of Hezbollah and Hamas, actually operations all throughout Latin America, which have very likely infiltrated the United States, assassination networks, ties in with cartels, narco-terrorist organizations, and organized crime groups. And so, in my eyes, this is tied in with that. I think Trump has taking Venezuela off the table was a huge blow to this global agenda. I believe the CCP saw a very narrow time window, as did Iran and Russia. Taking Iran off the table basically eliminates the war plan if Trump can succeed in this. And the narrow window is formed by this. The sad reality is America lacks rare earth minerals, which we need to fight a war. We're dependent on China for that. We also lack wartime manufacturing. Trump's trying to rebuild that. The time frame on that's going to be 2 or 3 years. Also, we lack the domestic ability to produce the medications we need, including during wartime. We're also dependent on China for that. And so if they can't start a war within the next 2 to 3 years, we're going to be able to stand on our own 2 feet without them. And so they're seeing a very narrow window for this. They understand that based on current capabilities, they can't fight us full head on. They need to get us involved in at least 3 other wars in addition to them. And so I think Trump taking these off the table could eliminate that possibility.
Fascinating review. So with Venezuela and Iran being knocked down, I mean, it seems like to me, to your point, China is kind of going, oops, that didn't work. But there's another side part of that, and that is oil. China is not getting their oil. So in some ways, their plan is backfiring, and he's using it to weaken them even more, maybe to bring them to the table.
This ties into a different form of war that America typically does not fight, but our adversaries do. You would call this gray zone warfare. You'd call it, in some cases, you call it total war. China, it's been referred to as unrestricted warfare, war without limits. And what does that mean? It means what would you want to achieve through the act of war? You're not viewing war as merely, tanks and bombs and counting bodies in the battlefield. You're viewing war as a totality of a battle between systems. That's economy, that's software, culture, it's media, it's public opinion warfare. It's even, for example, using cyber attacks to steal intellectual property to undermine a country on the international market. It's currency warfare, like China's attempts to create an alternate world reserve currency using the BRICS dollar. Things like this is the bigger picture of what warfare represents. And based on a very interesting analysis, which is this: if you were to invade a country, if we were to invade Iran or invade another country, or if Russia were to take over Ukraine tomorrow, what do they actually get out of it? Right? If you think about it from this perspective, what do they actually get out of it? If you fully conquer a country, well, you gain control of their politics, you gain control of their economy, their businesses, you gain control of the media, you gain control of the culture to an extent, and then you face a lot of domestic pushback based on public opinion, whether they support what you did or not. These are the complexities of conquering, the complexities of defeating an enemy. What do you do afterwards? The thinking of this totality of warfare concept, right? Whether it's war without limits or unrestricted warfare or gray zone warfare or what's called sometimes fifth generation warfare, is how do you achieve that exact same result and manage it better without the need of military intervention or military invasion? The simple answer is you take over the politics, you take over the businesses, you take over the influencers who inform public opinion. If you can achieve that, you take over the country without needing to fire a shot. You control their economy, you control their politics, and you control public opinion and culture. For the CCP, this is the main operation of what's called it's called the United Front Work Department, one of their large-scale operations, even tied in with the political warfare departments of their own military, which they have, by the way. It used to be called the General Political Department. They've since reorganized it. America does not fight this very well. We're very much still brute force, head on. We have too many laws of transparency to really allow us to fully fight this type of unconventional war. But what I think Trump has done is he's found a way to do it. He's found a way to do it, which is basically he does it and then is just incredibly straightforward about it. He does it and then posts videos of us doing it and makes fun of them. He does it and mocks them publicly on the internet. And a lot of people think this is kind of ham-fisted and not very dignified. But this does tie into a war that we're in, whether we like it or not. The war of public opinion, the war of political systems, and the war of economies.
Mm-hmm.
On the front of oil, it is true. If you can cut off the finances, if you can cut off the economic sectors, if you can cut off the money, you not only cripple the regime and what it can or can't do, most importantly, you impact basic quality of life for the citizens. If the citizens can't turn on the lights to their home, can't light the fires for their stove, can't find a job, what do? Well, they go to the streets and they protest. And when they protest and go on the streets, well, that's when you hit them with the information warfare element. You feed the fires of domestic resolve to overthrow the regime. I think Trump is doing this very heavily in Iran right now. I believe they're actually counting on the Iranian people to overthrow the regime. I believe that is the main plan. Disable the leadership, cripple the economy, fuel the fires of domestic, grounds up unrest, and through that create regime change. Same thing he did in Latin America with Venezuela. Same thing I think they're doing with China right now, actually, to an extent, maybe not to that extent, like overthrowing the regime. but without a doubt, using public pressure through economic pressure in order to create instability to force them to make a deal. Very likely,
Yeah.
what I think is going to happen.
Yeah.
Trump's going to do an oil deal in exchange for rare earth minerals, that's how I see this unfolding.
Fascinating. One quick question. I got to take a break. Is it possible that the president's outsmarted the other guy?
You know, Trump's an interesting character. It's not clear sometimes whether he thinks about things too deeply or if he just acts on instinct, and it tends to work very well. Based on my reading of Donald Trump, the way he works is he likes to have guys in charge of different parts of his government who are trustworthy and very well informed, and he tends to trust them. I think the guys around Trump know what they're doing. Again, I know many of them personally because, for the past 4 years into the Biden administration, a lot of the guys Trump chose were the most outspoken against what was happening for the last 4 or 5 years. Because of that, I know they're pretty good guys, and I know they know what they're talking about. So I think Trump has around him very smart people, and they're informing him in very accurate ways of how to do these things.
Fascinating. All right, let me take a quick break. Check out Joshua's website, theepochtimes.com. Well known. There's a picture of the landing page, and check out his crossroads there on the Epoch TV. And I think you'll find it fascinating. Such an honor to have him today. We're going to switch gears here with some other articles that he's written. We'll be right back.
You are invited to the 2026 Access Senior Fair, Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at RogueX. Over 80 vendor booths offering helpful resources for seniors and their families. Try your luck at a round of bingo complete with prizes. All are welcome at the largest free and fun senior resource fair in Southern Oregon. We'll see you Tuesday, March 24th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at RogueX.
Over time, every wall tells a story, but sometimes those stories need a fresh start. At Chris Silva Painting, we specialize in transforming indoor spaces, whether it's your family home or your business workspace. With premium paints, flexible scheduling, and expert attention to detail, we make the process simple and stress-free so you can focus on what matters most, living and working in a space you love. From bold new colors to subtle tones of sophistication, let Chris Silva Painting bring your vision to life, one wall at a time. Chris and his crew are courteous. They're efficient, organized, timely, and clean. Chris Silva Painting also offers military discounts. At Chris Silva Painting, our mission statement is to bring Christ's heart and principles to our customers and our job sites. We do that with honesty, integrity, and hard work. We don't cut corners, we paint them. CCB number 176097. Chris Silva Painting, 541-890-3960. 541-890-3960.
Once again, our very own Dove TV was recognized for excellence by the National Religious Broadcasters with the prestigious Station of the Year Award for 2026.
And this year's recipient of TV Station of the Year Award is Dove TV.
This makes 9 times the Dove has been honored by our peers with this celebrated national award. We're grateful, and another reason to stay encouraged and informed by watching and supporting the Dove TV.
Welcome back. Always an honor when we have time to sit down with Joshua Phillip. He's an award-winning journalist and the senior investigative reporter for Epoch Times. Check out his own show called Crossroads, which is there on Epoch TV. And, of course, the website, theepochtimes.com. And there's a picture of the landing page. Oh, Joshua, so much time to talk to you about. I probably at times read more FCC documents than I do the Bible, and that's not a good thing. But I do watch this stuff because I have to. And the new chairman is quite concerned as to whether or not we're covering the war correctly. You wrote an article on this. What's your take?
Well, it's going to be interesting. Basically, many mainstream news outlets, their broadcast licenses are up for renewal. And the FCC chairman is actually coming out and saying, Brendan Carr is saying that they may not renew the broadcast licenses for several news outlets. One of the triggers for this was there was an alleged, I believe it was fake, the Trump administration says it was fake, a fake video going around published by, I believe, Russian disinformation services, but pushed by Iran, alleging they had blown up a U.S. warship. Now, typically with the United States, if we lose a warship, it's pretty dang public. You'd hear it. You'd hear it, of course. But this was a fake video. It was an AI generated video. And what happened after that? Many news outlets also broadcasted this. A lot of the mainstream media picked up this fake video and they broadcasted it. And the Trump administration was saying effectively they knowingly published false information. And based on the knowingly publishing false information during a time when we're kind of at war, I know it's not called a war, but effectively disabling the military of an entire country. That's if we don't call that war, what do we call it? During a time when American troops are, morale is an issue, during a time when our war fighting capabilities are tied into it, during a time when domestic support and congressional support is a very big deal, using disinformation, falsified videos, publishing it knowingly in a way that would have a political impact, which it seems to be this is the motivation for the mainstream media. Deeply partisan, deeply politically motivated, not acting in the interest of the American people or public or the public good, which is part of their requirement, but instead acting on their own volitions, acting out of hatred for the president, their own dislike of him, personal issues, letting that skew whether or not they're even telling the truth to the American people. And for the Trump administration, this ties into something even deeper than just public opinion and wartime national security and things like that. This ties into a broader pattern they're watching, where the mainstream news has repeatedly peddled false information, whether it was the fake Trump Russia hoax, which turned out to be opposition research funded by the Clinton campaign and the Democrat Party, whether it was, for example, the cover-up of the Hunter Biden laptop issue, whether it be a lot of the false information coming out and just scandal after scandal after scandal. It seems that the mainstream media, many of these journalists, are knowingly publishing false information with the intent of having a partisan political impact, meaning they're misusing the legal requirements of their broadcast licenses are being misused by them for personal interest or political interest. And so Trump is suggesting, or at least the FCC is suggesting, that they may actually revoke the licenses of these companies, which would be a very big deal.
There's a little bit of a precedent out there. The president's company has sued CBS and won, or well, at least they settled, which is an admission. MSN now has admitted. CBS has done retractions. NBC has done retractions. And I purposely watched CNN the other day just to see what's going on. Not only have they made retractions, but I watched them for an hour yesterday just to see if I'm missing something. Every story. The only thing that was exempted were the advertisements where they bashed Trump. So I guess all of these outfits have broadcast licenses at one degree or another, whether they own a station, and that's primarily where it comes into, would be owners station operated like we are here. This would be a major precedent if the FCC pulls their license. I would imagine it's going to be tied up in the courts, but he'd have to come up with a pretty strong argument to do this.
I think what would likely happen is the FCC could not pull the licenses, but not renew the licenses, which is an interesting way to do it. And it very likely would be challenged in court.
Well,
I'd be
at
shocked
that point,
if it wasn't.
Yeah, if I understand that, all right, so if they don't pull it, but they don't renew it, you're kind of like in a suspended category, which really opens them up for fines.
It does.
Yeah.
But there is precedence to this, which is during the Biden administration, recent history. Real America's Voice, OAN, a lot of Newsmax, Epic Times. A lot of media were actually deeply censored during the Biden administration.
Right.
Many of the conservative or conservative-leaning TV channels were actually threatened to be, taken off the air. There were congressional hearings on this. There was political pressure on it. There was efforts of the Biden administration creating different bodies that were pressuring social media, pressuring advertisers.
Right.
You could argue whether this would constitute government censorship, but Mark Zuckerberg came out and said that he believed that he was under threat effectively if he did not censor many conservative voices, under threat from the Biden administration,
Right.
under threat from the government at the time. And so the Biden administration and Democrats in Congress during the Biden administration did take actions to censor, deplatform, and demonetize conservative news outlets. And a lot of that was based on what turns out to be conservative news outlets publishing what we now know to be accurate information. Information on the vaccines and efficacy of the vaccines, information on COVID-19, the origin of the virus, information on, different political squabbles that turned out that Republicans were right on many of those, as the smoke cleared. And it turns out that the arms arguing, disinformation, the people making those arguments were the ones lying, and the people being accused were the ones who were innocent. And so there is precedence right now. Will Trump use that? Maybe. Without a doubt, there will be legal challenges, though.
Well, I understand the FCC has more power now. The other ones that aren't regulated, like social media, we were the first broadcast network to get booted off of YouTube. And they took 15,000 of our videos. And only because their policy allows them to do it, and they were supposedly the arbiters of truth.
Same thing happened to me. My show, Crossroads, was demonetized.
Yeah, right.
I actually recently started a new one, the Josh Phillips Show, to get around that because it was so ridiculous.
Yeah. This is interesting to watch. We're almost out of time. I do want to come back and talk to you about your work on following up on all this fraud that's out there. Of course, we got Governor Walz's state. Now we're down into California at levels that make his problems look small. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your work. This is amazing. Let me say to our viewers and listeners a couple of things here. Check out the show called Crossroads, which is there on Epoch TV. Of course, you can check out his articles, theepochtimes.com. You can check that out. You see them all over the place, and yet you give us time when we call, Joshua, and I really, really value that greatly. This is fascinating. We'll see over the next couple of weeks how the war turns out. And if your big scenario, the big picture with China, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, and now Cuba's in the mix, all kind of works its way to the surface. Thank you, friend. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not